Yes, sir. Bust through that curtain, my boy. We are back again, Big Vern. We're here.
What's happening? Shout out to you.
It's time. Shout out to you, Vern.
Woof. Big
Shout out to
ups.
You want to know why it's a big shout out?
Box Podcast Network.
Shout out
Big
to them,
ups.
as always.
Big ups to them. First and foremost, we are the Pay Window Podcast. What's going on? My man, Frank Champion, trainer of professional wrestlers.
The future stars of tomorrow. I think he said something like that last time.
It was dope.
It was dope.
A man who is a professional wrestler. I saw him take give a double liner off the second rope. My God, was it a liner? Did he just fall into people? I don't know. You'll have to go to the footage.
There's a little bit of both.
But hey, that is Frank Champion. I am Vernon Somoza. I am the manager of champions. Maybe, maybe not. Who knows? It depends who you ask. And I'm a fan. I am a wrestling
Connoisseur,
like
is that what we said?
I like wrestling. Yeah, connoisseur.
Did we say connoisseur?
I don't even know anymore. Yeah, maybe.
You're like a
either way, enthusiast.
There you go. That's a good word. Enthusiast is a great word. Yeah, great word. Yeah. So remind me of this since we're getting started. It's a minute 35 in.
Sir.
Remind me at the end of this show for me to shoot a question on you. You have no idea what I'm going to ask you.
None.
Just before we go off the air, write it down or something.
Okay.
Write it down. I'm going to shoot a question on you. Okay?
All right.
Just write it down. Don't cut that. Write it down. I got a question to ask you at the end of the show. Tail end of the show.
Copy.
All right. So, how was your last 2 weeks? I haven't seen you in 2 weeks. How was your last 2 weeks, sir?
Man, 2 weeks. The world has been crazy. The wrestling world has been nuts. I mean, listen, real life is one thing. Real life. Look. Things are happening around the world.
Of course.
Things are happening in the news media. Things are
that's
happening
not what we're here for.
At important places. But
that's not what we're here
for that.
We're not here for that.
We're not here for the cost of gas. We're not here for the inflation prices. We're not even here to discuss.
Thank God it went down. Thank God.
All what's happening.
No, sir.
Over across the pond.
We are
here for this.
This part. Is this show wrestling yet?
He is showing a shirt, and on his shirt it says wrestling. Yes, we're here for wrestling. And man, the biggest thing in the world of news that none of us thought we would hear. The news I didn't think I would hear until honestly it was followed an obituary. Like this is obituary worthy news.
We've been talking about it for a minute.
Kennedy McMahon Jr.
Listen,
he hates the junior. He hates the junior.
Of course, he
does. Retired at 77 years old on July 22nd.
Is there an official statement from
via Twitter? It was via Twitter. The official statement was that statement via Twitter that came. It was a tweet at 4:00 on a Friday.
Vince was like, "Well, I'm done with work. I'm cool, y'all."
Yo, one dumb. Ready? Guess what? This is gonna get buried in the news feeds because the second I put this out there, the 6:00 news is on and the news feed is already set. Vince was an intelligent man.
They even did it on wow. This is on the corporate WWE site.
Yeah.
Can I read it real quick?
Please.
I just pulled it up. I didn't even realize it.
Yeah.
So this was on July 22nd, which was just about 2 weeks ago from this Friday.
News that changed the world.
This Friday.
Seriously, changed the world.
The entire wrestling world just went absolutely upside down.
Wrestling world. I just feel like the world in general. I honestly, I feel like we're all underplaying what this means.
You think so?
Vince McMahon, that's honestly a name I believe you say and people know that name. That's not a
wrestling.
Name. That's not.
Yeah, no.
I think that name goes outside of wrestling though. That's like a Hulk Hogan kind of name.
Right. It's household.
It's got that. I don't know if it's household. I think it almost has that impact in terms of this culture. Culturally, it's a name that has relevancy culturally. Like Vince McMahon, that's wrestling,
right? Vince, like that's what I meant by it's wrestling. Like you tie Vince McMahon to wrestling. No, I agree with that. He definitely is more than just a wrestling world. The dude,
it's been his world,
right? We got to give the man his flowers.
In his world for the last 40-something years.
The landscape of professional wrestling right now wouldn't be what it was if it wasn't for what he did in the 70s. If it wasn't for what he did. Right.
One person.
He single-handedly changed the entire professional wrestling business with this one idea of, why do I have to stay in this area when I want to go everywhere? Why do I have to listen to these guys? And sometimes that's all it takes. It takes a person like that to be like, why I got to go with the norm, and just be like, nah, I'm going to do what I feels right. And listen, here we are in 2022, and we call the man a genius. Well, most people call him a genius. Some people call him another name we're not going to repeat on here, but it's Mick.
A dictator. A dictator.
Yeah,
some call him a dictator. Some call him a psycho. Some call him a lot of things.
I will call him a genius until the day I die, because what he did for pro wrestling, sports entertainment, whatever you want to call it, what he did for professional wrestling business, nobody would have had the balls to do it all. If there was never a Vince McMahon, we'd still be doing territory wrestling, more than likely, if you think about it. There was no Vince McMahon. Who would have taken that jump? Ted Turner? Ted Turner? No, because Ted was good down south with Crockett.
Man,
could you imagine?
So, do you say that as a bad thing, that wrestling wouldn't have gone nationally? You think it would have been bad had wrestling not gone national?
If it never went national?
Yeah. Do you think it'd have been a bad
so
thing?
We would have just
let's say Vince gambles on WrestleMania 1, but the gamble doesn't pay off. It's a flop bomb, so that's it. The Fed is out. Or the Fed's not out, but the Fed has to stay a regional Northeast company.
Fed stays in Connecticut. They can't go any further out. Connecticut, maybe the Garden. That's all. The
Garden. They can run the Garden, but that's it.
And you're telling me territory wrestling would still be around today? Is that what you're saying?
It would have to. That's what I'm saying. See, it would have had to have evolved at some point. It would have had to evolve,
what though?
Right?
To what? Power promotions like college football. You got power promotions. So this promotion absorbed the other guys who went out of business. It would have probably been that. I can see that. I'm throwing it to the wall right now to see if it sticks.
Sure.
So let's just take the South, right? Because they had Watts had his own, right? Dusty worked for Watts, right? If I'm not mistaken, I don't want to say the wrong thing. Dusty worked for Watts in Championship Wrestling for Florida, and then it turned into.
You're thinking of.
You help me
Eddie Graham.
I know you know.
Eddie Graham.
So let's
Eddie Graham. Eddie Graham created Dusty. Yes, Eddie Graham gives us Dusty Rhodes. Yes, sir.
Right. Okay. So Championship Wrestling. What's his name?
Championship Wrestling for CWF. Championship Wrestling for Florida. He gave us Jack Briscoe and. A Cowboy had.
He was in Georgia, wasn't he?
No, Cowboy was in Louisiana, Oklahoma.
Okay. I'm thinking of then.
Mm-hmm.
But he tried. But that was after Vince. I'm trying to think of the name of what he came up with after Vince.
Oh, the USWF.
Yeah,
but that was Wrestling Federation.
Universal. Okay, but that was afterwards. That was
that was his attempt at going national. Yeah, that bombs.
Right, of course. So let's say that was Vince, right?
Or the AWA that when it finally got onto ESPN. Do you not remember the ESP, like the last year's the AWA, that horrible tag team tournament thing? That was rotten. That was their attempt at going national. That was bad.
That tournament with the points and oh my God, I couldn't understand it. It used to be on ESPN Classic every night, and I was like, oh cool, I get to watch AWA.
I can watch this. Night. Yeah.
Our AWA TV put it on. And what was the Corporal Kirchner?
Yeah,
he'd win a match, and they're like, he advances with 13 points, and I'm like, what the hell are y'all talking about?
Points? Oh man, I'm trying to think of some of the names because they had like the names of teams that you were just like, what?
Oh my lord!
It sounded like a TEW 2000 simulator because it was like Captain Robo and the Juggernaut, and it was like, what? Those are real. Those are names of workers.
I'm sorry. I'm trying to get this
anyway,
bro. All right, let's go back. Let's go back.
Yeah, back to what we're talking about.
No, you asked.
It changes the entire wrestling world.
But what you asked
back
me
to that question.
If Vince doesn't
go national,
let's say WrestleMania tanks and bombs, he's got to stay in Connecticut. I think, like I said, like how college football has power conferences. There's top 5 conferences. I'm not going to break all that down. If you're not familiar with college football, Google it. Whatever. We're here for wrestling. There's power conferences. I think you would have winded up with power territories. Like instead of saying, Vince, you run Connecticut and New York, and somebody else's Maine and Massachusetts. I think eventually it would have been like I think it might have still had NWA by now and said, hey, for the NWA to treat it like the NBA, you've got the Northeast territory and the entire Southeast territory. They might have tried to regulate it that way, but I still feel like those good old boys would have still tried to control everything.
But well, that's what I mean. So you got to remember, right? That's where you have the breaking of all those titles, because you have all your different champions who are like, okay, well, I need a champion in my territory, so now I have my own belt, and the South, we need champions in our territory, so now we have our own belts. Like that's what it is. Because
indie wrestling is right now. That's what it sounds like.
But who draws money? Your champ draws money. Right. And so that was the thing with your traveling champion and wanting to have a heavyweight champion and the belt in your territory. I mean, that's like the big. That's like the big side note with all that is that's why you get all those championships that come up, and hence you get all the secondary titles, etc. Because that way you can always have a belt in your territory. Correct. But I think I think where you would have gone sideways was what makes Vince and everyone go sideways. He wants a piece of the pie. He wants the belt on his champion. He wants the belt to stay in New York.
Yeah, why's he got to leave? Why the hell has he got to leave for?
Because you're supposed to share the wealth.
Nah.
See but that's
I'm with Vince. Nah.
There's the thing. It's Vince's guy. It's Vince's guy and Buddy who has the belt, but he's the NWA champ. Buddy now has to travel. That's part of the
he's got to leave. So all right, let's think about this. I don't get this logic at all. I'm kind of I'm with Vince on his logic of no. So let's say, Vern, you're my champion. Okay. You were homegrown. Hold on. You came through. You went through the old ways. You got stretched out. You know what I mean? You trained in New York. You work for me. I'm Vince McMahon, Frank McMahon. Okay, I'm about to change my name, Frank McMahon. Right? You work for me. I get you over AF. You're the man. Nobody messes with you. You putting out bangers. I was about to say the other thing. Slap, tickle, bangers,
tickle. Yup. Bit, slap. Sure. Bleed. Yes, you do it all.
You're my guy. Okay. I lobby with the NWA. I think my guy should be the champion. Now all of a sudden you work Flair. Flair puts you over. Okay. Now all of a sudden you're gone.
I'm now the gone for 6 months. Nationally recognized NWA heavyweight champion.
And you have to now leave my territory where I built you up, and all the fans have watched you rise to your meteoric rise and become champion. Now you're leaving. Nobody can watch you live.
You have to give other people dates on me, sure, but you have to give everybody else dates on me.
Nope.
But you act like you're not going to get compensated. You act like you act like, again, but you're acting like they're not going to say, okay, you want Dusty? All right, you send us Vern. We'll send you up Dusty.
Why do I need to?
You want the
okay? What if
when I'm going, and you're right, your business takes a dip. They're sending you stars from the outside. That's how it worked. It was a sharing system. But there's a sense of good faith that has to go into it because you're actively working together.
Good faith. Working together. And how much good faith happens in business? How much good faith happens in business?
Hey, man.
How many people have gotten reamed
in wrestling? How much of wrestling is all handshakes? You got to trust the handshake.
Right. How many times was,
I'll get you next time, brother.
Hey, it was in the promoter in Houston.
That Pritchard always talks about
Bosch.
Paul Bosch.
And Paul Bosch's original manuscript of his book that got edited out, or rumor has it, if I remember the rumor correctly, is that in it has the line when he met Vince and he sold him, I think he sold him Houston. But he said that was the day that Vince McMahon killed the integrity of the handshake, or something along those lines.
Really?
That was the day in the handshake deal. Yeah, because
I'm sure
Vince shook hands with him, and then Vince screwed him. Vince screwed him immediately. Like, he went back on a deal and still took what he wanted and still screwed him on the money.
Oh yeah, that's I think Bruce talked about that too. There was some kind of deal that they made, and Vince winded up gutting him out of his business for it, because they were doing like advertisements. They were going to send a bunch of guys down to Houston and a bunch of that. And he winded up reneging on all that or something like that. I can't remember exactly, but I remember that was one of the episodes when I was when I was watching or listening to
Yeah.
something to wrestle with religiously, it was the
before he
episode.
got his job back, when he was fed batting.
Yeah,
when he was fed batting before he got
his job back. Yeah, it was good. It was good radio, whatever you want to call it. All right, but no, what I'm saying is I can't blame Vince for what he did, because in the end, like I said, why I just built you up for multiple months. Now I've got to send you away. I'm going to take a dip. Yes, I get a loan. Now I've got to redo that with another guy. When I have you, and I want you to stay here and defend it here.
Yeah. So we'll put our belt on you, and then we'll have Bruno win that belt off me. And then Bruno's our recognized champion. And then we have our own heavyweight champ.
But Bruno's going to dip.
No. Gotta go. But I'm saying is that's how it happens that's how it happened in history. Vince wanted his own belt, so then they put another world title on there, and then he was like, said it's undisputed, and he was like, oh no, they had another match for it. That's my heavyweight title. That's my world heavyweight champion. Okay. That's the new WWF champion. And he crowns a new champ for WWF.
Kind of like, because it's kind of like a big FU to NWA.
Because they wanted a belt back. They get their belt back in a double cross. They get it back, and he's like, okay, fine, take your belt back. I made my own heavyweight champ.
If I can see, this is
and that's what Vince says, peace to the NWA.
I don't blame him, bro.
And he quits the NWA.
I would too. That's not because the only reason why they were even doing that model. He wasn't an official member.
If I'm not remembering correctly, I apologize, my historians out there. The 5 historians who are listening,
like,
you know who are.
Well, actually, he was more than just a
as they did to Triple H on his interview with Jake Paul yesterday. I was reading hate-fueled rants about how dare he when he said that Vince McMahon single-handedly took wrestling from dingy bars, which is an insane statement to make, but he's a company man who is promoting his company. I didn't expect him not to give his slanted view on that company first view on wrestling. But anyway,
can you give me that line again before I read the Vince McMahon retirement article? Because we're going to talk about Triple H anyway. Because I didn't hear it. What did he say?
Oh, Triple H said in an interview, the line that got many of those with bearded necks upset was that Vince McMahon, his vision took wrestling out of dingy bars and like dumpy little night hole,
like
from
bingo
the bingo halls.
Yeah.
Vince McMahon took wrestling from crap hole bingo halls to the heights of sports entertainment and creating moments in which the world remembers and recognizes. Okay, Vince McMahon single-handedly did that, and so the wrestling world went "Wee!" because it's not true. He didn't do that.
He's like, it's Vince McMahon. It's only Vince McMahon that did that. He can't remember. He can't forget what they did down in World Class when they were selling out the arena, the stadium.
Fine. It's right. It's fine.
I get it.
Did anybody expect him to get out there and give objective, thought out? He went on Jake Paul's podcast. I'm sorry, it wasn't daggone Conan O'Brien or whatever.
It don't matter.
Like whatever a political analyst would have been, right? I'm like, it wasn't a shoot show where he's there going.
It's a Logan Paul impulsive podcast. And anyway, it was probably like what's his name's when he was on McAfee, controlled, PR friendly.
No, he was a little more laid back. I heard clips. I didn't hear the whole thing. I heard clips. I heard I heard the sections that made people want to punch things, and I was reading essays about why he's wrong. And actually, if you want to Google, and I was like, oh boy. God.
So I put that on the notes for next episode too, so we can talk about that because I want to hear it by then.
So Vince is out. Vince, thank you so much.
Let me read this. Let me read this here. Yeah. Then we're going to talk about Papa H. So I'll just read because we always do like official stuff. So this came from the corporate.wwe.com website. Company news. Vince McMahon retires. I'm just going to read what he put out in that tweet. Vince McMahon today released the following statement. As I approach 77 years old, I feel it's time for me to retire as chairman and CEO of WWE. Throughout the years, it's been a privilege to help WWE bring you joy, inspire you, thrill you, surprise you, and always entertain you. I would like to thank my family for mightily contributing to our success, and I would also like to thank all of our past and present superstars and employees for their dedication and passion for our brand. Most importantly, I would like to thank our fans for allowing us into your homes every week and being your choice of entertainment. I hold the deepest appreciation and admiration for our generations of fans all over the world who have liked, currently like, and sometimes even love our form of sports entertainment. This is his quote too. Let me just, okay, yeah, it is. Our global audience can take comfort in knowing WWE will continue to entertain you with the same fervor. I hope I'm saying that right. Dedication and passion as always. I am extremely confident in the continued success of the WWE, and I leave our company in the capable hands of an extraordinary group of superstars, employees, and executives. In particular, both chairwoman and co-CEO Stephanie McMahon and co-CEO Nick Khan. As a majority shareholder, I will continue to support WWE in any way I can. My personal thanks to our community and business partners, shareholders, and board of directors for their guidance and support throughout the years. Then, now, forever, together. Mamba out. McMahon out on that one. Hey, what you think about that statement he left there? We'll reflect on that statement a little bit.
The thing that sticks out to me, honestly, one word.
What's that?
4 letters.
What's that?
Fans.
Fans. Okay.
He didn't say the universe. He
said fans. Right.
That's like, that to me was the moment where I went, I was like, wait a minute. This is real.
He's talking about us. Oh my God. Oh my God.
It's the moment where he pointed into the crowd and I knew
he was looking at you.
He pointed directly at me.
He's looking at me.
When he looked, our eyes locked and he went like this. And it was just like, God. And like this, I'm pointing at the screen and my fingers almost touching the camera. Because that's how close I felt to Vince McMahon when he said, when you read that statement and he said fans, it might as well have said Vern. And Vern, as you supported me, I was just like, wow, he's talking to me.
I mean,
listen, he broke the fourth wall. He didn't call me a member of the universe.
Right.
That's our kayfabe name for each other. He was shooting
the universe. We're the universe. Yeah, no, he kept it real.
He said, "You're a fan." All right.
Appreciate all the support over the years. Listen, it's crazy. Like this is one thing I wanted to say. Yeah. We were talking about this. Which is crazy. A few episodes back, like, yo, when Vince finally tells the Grim Reaper, "I'm good. Let's go. That's when he'll finally give it up." And here we are.
Have egg on our face,
right? Here we are,
what the hell,
2
Vince?
months later, and this dude's gone. And it's like,
well, it looks. I mean, it just sounds like things are getting messy.
That's my thought on it. That's exactly what I was going to say. I think the reason why he's doing this is to get ahead of whatever's about to come. Because when we last spoke about it, it was at 12 million, and multiple women. So
it used to be, what was it, 4? It was 12 at 4. Yeah. And now it's like,
ain't it like 17 or something like that?
With like 41 million at 17 women or something like that. Yeah. But it's not even just him. It's him, his boy. He covered for Laurinaitis.
And Laurinaitis is no longer there. Let's talk about the person who replaced all of that, of which looks like permanently.
Vince McMahon.
Can I ask you a question? First,
please.
I'm sorry. Okay, please. One more thing, and we'll close out on Vince. I'm sorry. Most memorable Mr. McMahon moment for you. Most memorable Mr. McMahon moment.
Oh man.
We'll just say it, explain why, and then
man.
While you do that, I'm gonna think. Because we didn't plan this. I just threw this at you right now.
Yeah. Okay, one I witnessed or one that I just, as a fan, you've gone back and you rewatch?
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Okay, if you want to do both, do both.
Okay,
you're acting like Tommy Dreamer right now and busted open.
I am.
He's always changing the rules.
Crazy wrestler brain.
Oh God, you kind of have an ECW shirt on too right now. I'm looking at. I can't read what it says. What does it say?
18 F and W. Mr. 18 F and 59. What was wrong with me? 18 F and 59. Mr. 1859.
Who's that?
Cliff Compton. Don't you remember Cliff Compton's old gimmick, Mr. 1859?
Nope. I do not.
What?
I do not. You're gonna make me Google it. All right. I'm Googling it while you
man. Cliff Compton, Domino of Deuce and Domino, his boy. Cliff Compton, Cole Cabana's boy.
I do not remember 1859. Boy. What is 1859?
So that part at this point, it's been lost in my wrestler brain. Something maybe with the Great Power Udi. I'm not sure. I
Okay.
have one that says Great Power Udi on it too. I have a Great Power Udi shirt.
Favorite Mr. McMahon moment. Go.
Thank you. You were the one who got me on a random tangent about my shirt. Anyway,
I'm sorry. Oh man. Would you like me to go first?
It may be bedpan Vince.
Okay.
It may be Vince in the bed, and then Vince just saying, "What the hell? What? No!" And then just said, "Bing!" That's
Bing.
just solid ping.
Shoot.
And Vince
Pan.
The sound he makes when he goes, no, and just Steve is wailing on his
foot.
Wailing, and his face is red. He's he's just over the top selling, and you're
fantastic.
You're in there with him because he is just screaming his face off, and Steve doesn't care. Steve's like, "Oh, I'm going for it. This is one take, Daddy. We're not gonna miss this shot."
So you know the story of how he was hitting it off of his own head to see how it would feel. At first, he just asked him, like, "What are you doing?" It's like, "Oh, I'm just checking if I could use this or not." It's like, bro, once Austin's in there, he's going full throttle. So I know that rang bells. Literally rang bells.
Such a fun bang!
Oh my Lord.
It was a cartoon moment. Like you expected
yes.
the sound to reverberate in Vince's head to be doing this motion,
or the joint like the old Batman joint. Biff, pow. All right.
So if I can think of that, I remember watching as a kid and just geeking out.
Okay, so mine, since you did that one,
funny.
That's a dope one. I think Vince. Okay, so I remember when we first started getting into like the other side of the business, us trying to become active workers in the business. You told me to watch this DVD, which I consider the Bible for every beginner professional wrestler, the Raven DVDs, the 5-disc set where he sit there. Sometimes he goes on tangents like we do, but that 5-disc set, which pretty much schooled you on the business in a lot of different ways. One of the things, right? One of the things Raven always said was, as a heel, you're not supposed to be liked. You're not supposed to be. They're not supposed to laugh at you unless you're doing the one thing, and he called it showing your ass. And Vince literally shows his ass when he does like the Kiss My Ass Club, but that's him trying to be the dominant boss, whatever. But I think Vince did a great job of showing his ass. And the one moment I remember the most is Bang 316. Bang 316, where he wets himself. Because if I'm trying to, I don't remember the entire thing altogether, but I think Austin was like hunting him down, and he was showing him he's got all these guns and all this stuff and all this blah blah. I can't remember exactly, but then he finally got Vince, and he put him in the middle of the ring, and he takes the gun, and it just Bang 316. It's just like the face Vince has, where he's like on the verge of tears, and you look down, and I'm like, that's one of the most memorable. I'll never forget that moment. I don't remember the lead up per se exactly, but the gun to the head, Bang 316, pees his pants, showing his ass. And you can't be mad about doing a lot of things if Vince McMahon is willing to pee his pants live on television.
Facts. And not even blink.
Like, oh, I got to pee my pants? Okay, no problem. I have no problem peeing my pants on TV.
Hold my beer.
Right. So when people are like, and I've always thought of that, like if as a professional wrestler, if you're the heel and you don't show your ass sometimes, then you're going to wind up being those NWO too cool for school guys. And we saw how far that got them. It got them far, but not at the longevity.
It has a shelf life. You know, I would say number 2 for me to be that guy would be Memphis pre Mr. McMahon, the Memphis Mr. McMahon when he got pat with him.
Yeah, the
USWA when he went down. Was it USWA?
It was for Lawler. It was for Lawler and Jerry, right?
Yeah, Lawler, it was in Memphis. No, it was Memphis. Yeah, it was down from USWA. Okay, I think it was. Okay, Memphis. I think it was
USWA.
Okay,
USWA.
I don't know. I think it was USWA. Okay.
It has to be Vince where he's like the heel there. Yeah,
where he went down there to set up the Bret Hart match, to set up the Bret Hart versus no, was it Bret Hart? Yeah, it was a set up the Bret Hart. Yes, because that was a bizarre match where in New York, Bret Hart versus Jerry Lawler, and everyone booed Jerry.
Yes,
but in Memphis everybody cheered.
Yeah,
everyone cheered Jerry and booed Brett.
Yes,
that was that match.
Okay, that's another good one.
Is for me. If you've never seen it before,
no.
Google it. It's a great watch, but
There's
you
a
get glimpses
of it,
of
right?
Mr. McMahon. Yeah. You get glimpses of Mr. McMahon of who he, in the and he's just and like was like 94, 95, and it's just the voice, and he has Pat out there, and Pat gets involved, and Pat looks like he's gonna hook somebody, and it's great television. But that if you want to talk about deep cut like Vince moment, you're talking about my favorite Vince, it would be that. When I discovered that as a fan, I was just like, oh my God, like this was Mr. McMahon before he became the Mr. McMahon on television that we all know.
I'll piggyback that one. It's not a favorite moment of mine, but it made me think of you said USWA, it made me think of indie wrestling, and there's not too many spots Vince did it with indie wrestling. You got to mention what they did out here with Cena and Brian Malonis, and who was Malonis working in that match? I can't remember who he was working. Because Cena was the special guest ref, right?
Was it Dijak?
No. This was way before.
Oh, okay.
Hold on. You're gonna make me Google it now. I might just play it while we do it real quick, while we talk about it.
I'm trying to think of who it is.
John Cena. Oh, there's an interview about him being in about a year ago. Oh, he's working Big Rick Fuller. Thank you.
Rick Fuller.
Hold on. I'll get it. Boom. I'll put it on the screen. Listen, there's Johnny Fabulous. What year is this? Mid 2000s?
Yeah.
Mid 2000s. Cena's over at this point. But the pop Vince gets when he comes out.
Big body slam. Oh, went up. Malone
because you did not expect Vince to be at an indie show, bro. Like when Vince shows up, you're like, what? And Brian Malone is a good dude. I know him. Look, there's the most replayed. Is this? Yeah, here. You can't hear it right now. You can't hear it. But if I played it, it would just go distorted.
Girl gets in the ring, low blow. I don't know
who's down on the low blow with Rick Fuller?
I don't know.
Do you know? Any idea? What girl that is?
Maybe in the comments. Johnny Fabulous gives her a big kiss.
Might be. Johnny Fabulous just kisses her, and I never understood that. Why, to combat a heel girl, you just smooch her. You know what? I don't like you. Mwah. Wrestling. Old wrestling. Let me say that. Look at
that. Makes out with her. Okay, that's a little assault. Never hurt nobody.
Oh my God. Look at
Vince.
And
then Mr. McMahon, he does the strut.
I mean,
and everyone in there goes, and
they're going banana right now in my ear.
You can see them start to one by one get up when they start to realize what is it, and when they realize who it is,
it's Vince.
It was like, holy cow!
Right, people. This is such a big moment out here for New England wrestling to see the guy of professional wrestling. Like, what a moment right here for Brian Malonis. Brian Malonis never made it to the WWE. I'm sure he probably had a tryout or two. I don't know. But never made it to WWE. WCW was gone already. There wasn't that many places for him to work. And he had a spot with the biggest babyface and the owner of the biggest company in the world.
At an indie show.
That's the crazy part. I was waiting till the F use him. Right, and then we can talk about Papa H.
Vince took a bump for an indie show. How awesome is that?
Dude, I can barely, it's so distorted in my ear right now. All right, he does it to Malonis too, but I know no disrespect to Malonis, but we're talking about Vince here.
Yeah, no, we gotta keep moving.
Yeah, plus we gotta keep it moving. But yeah, no, I mean, could you imagine that thought that Vince is at an indie show alone? It's like, wait, Vince, I'm sure Vince took no money for that, right? There's no way Vince took, like, I'm taking a payday for that. No, there's no way.
Oh, do I know? Are you asking me if I know the story?
Yeah, I'm sure he didn't, is what I'm going with. You think Vince took a payday for that?
I know parts. I know pieces of the story. I don't know the full story. I know parts of the story. I know, like, the day he was there, I know he sat in the limousine, and he just sat in his car the entire time and did literally.
Until it was time?
Literally from his car to the ring, the bump to the car, gone.
There's no way he took anybody.
So
there's no way. He probably worked in the car.
Can't confirm anything.
There's no way he took pay, Vern.
Again, I don't know. I can't. Oh, you want me to? Are you asking me to say yes or no on something I can't confirm or deny?
I know you can't confirm or deny, but I'm asking you for your opinion, sir. Do you think he took the payday?
Do I think it? No, I think this was a favor, but I wonder. I wonder what the favor was for.
I wonder. Maybe
I can find out. I will find out. I will find out and get back to you next week. I'll get the update. Remind me this week. I will go to my sources,
y'all. His sources,
when it comes to wrestling. I got sources, and I will hit somebody up and say, "Yo, I got questions. I need answers."
It's fantastic.
I'll find out.
All right, so let's talk about it. We've been on Vince for about half an hour. Let's talk about Papa H, because that's gonna have us talk about.
Listen, all I want to say is, Vince, thank you. Shout out to you. Thank you for what you did. Thank you for your vision.
All the memories, bro.
All the memories. It got kind of wonky at moments, but hey, overall,
my childhood.
It was fun.
My childhood is molded by some of his ideas and some of the ideas he said yes or no to. So
that's for the good and the bad ones. A lot of bad ones, a lot of good ones.
Of course, everybody's gonna make.
Remember,
mistakes,
friends, the Attitude Era, not as good as you thought, and not as good as you remember it.
Let's not do that. Let's not do that right now. You're gonna get them all riled up. Speaking of Attitude Era, we had a guy from the Attitude Era that has now taken over.
We had long-term storytelling finally pay off.
Stop.
We had.
Oh my God. Okay, if you're you want to know what Vern's talking about,
tell him.
So
give us the Wikipedia version.
In 2001, right, the McMahon-Helmsley regime came to fruition, where Triple H and Stephanie, Mr. McMahon, and they took over pretty much for about what? How many years? Jesus. For a minute. Let's just say that. It was for a minute.
Generous. You mean
long-term storytelling. 20 years later, here we are. Stephanie McMahon is co-CEO.
Children.
Right. It's all been a work. It's all been a work the entire time. Stephanie and Triple H are pretty much the head of the WWE. Stephanie is chairwoman of the board. Right, we spoke about her being chairwoman of the board last show. She's co-CEO with Nick Khan, and Triple H announced on the 25th. Well, he was announced as executive vice president and talent relations around the time I think Stephanie got announced. So we just never mentioned it. But he, the following Monday after Vince retired, he was announced as the head of creative, the pencil, the book, the guy, the mind behind the WWE. And listen, you know me, I'm a Triple H M word till I die, and I could not be any happier for the WWE than I am right now because of who's at the helm. You got a loss for words?
It was a day like Vince retiring, the day when Vince was no longer the final yes or no. Wow. The day when someone else took over the taste testing job. Someone else took over the yes, no.
Right.
Wow.
Yo. And the fact that it's Triple H blows my mind.
It's funny to joke about long-term storytelling, etc. But from what we know, based on books, based on what they put out, right? What do I know?
Right.
I don't know what I can read. It's all speculation. It's all what they tell us what they are. Yep. So of course they're the best version of themselves. Mm-hmm. But if anyone deserved it, Triple H deserved it. He's a guy who loved the business, and I liked his quote that he said on that interview where they talked about the regret that you didn't get a chance to retire, etc. And he was like, "My career." Oh no, excuse me. It was at the end of a media scrum. It was on the media scrum he did where he said, I didn't need to have a retirement match. It was
he said, I'm glad it went out the way I did.
I'm glad I went out the way I did because I went out giving it my all. I rode it till the wheels fall off.
Right.
I rode it to the wheel, and it was just like, okay. Like I dig this energy, but it's almost like as a wrestling fan, as someone who genuinely loved the business, someone who was a fan, who understood the history, was a huge, just an M word. And to think that's the guy that's in charge of telling the stories, you sleep good at night knowing it's in good hands.
So you would say the WWE is in good shape, in good hands, like you said, with Triple H at the helm. Because I believe so. We've already seen it. This is why I'm glad. This is why I like our bi-weekly format, Vern. Because
we allow things to develop.
Right. If we were a week or we were daily, we'd have a take on it. And then our take might change. Our take could still change no matter what, but our take might change day to day. This allows us to see, because professional wrestling is always what's next. What's next? Triple H is the creative. Oh, okay, what's gonna happen? I felt like we saw it that Monday night. A change. You said
no. We saw a change, but we saw that influence. We saw his fingerprints all over. We can't talk about Monday without first talking about Saturday. Because my boy, Saturday was the shot.
Hold on. See, you think I'm talking about this past Monday.
Oh, okay.
I'm talking about the Monday he took over. I'm talking about the 25th. That day. You felt it that day.
Oh,
I'm not
absolutely. Absolutely. It was a different show.
Me and the wife were sitting there watching it. Me and the wife watch Raw every Monday religiously.
Yeah.
We might fall asleep towards the end because, damn it, it's 3 hours.
It's 3 hours.
It's tough. It's 3 hours and it's story building. It's not like story finishing like a pay-per-view. It's story building. Sometimes, just being general here. So me and the wife were watching it and she's not really paying attention. She's on the phone, like on Instagram or whatever. And if something catches her eye, she'll watch. But me, I'm laying there watching it and I'm sitting there and I'm like, man, I'm watching more wrestling. I'm seeing stories that are blending into each other. Wow, he's involving more. There's more people involved in the show. I have not seen a single 24/7 thing. I'm like, he's already got his fingerprints on it day one. And I'm sure, they always say they're writing the show up until 8:00, sometimes after 8. I'm sure Triple H was like, all right, show me what Vince had. And let's see what we can tweak. I felt like that's what happened that week. And then Saturday, I mean, dude, forget it. That SummerSlam, wow.
But you didn't think it was funny, though, after that first Monday, the next day, the criticisms were like, did you expect the shit to be righted in one day? This show was probably written by Vince and Triple H just had to do it. Right. And it was like, but like you just said, it was like, we all know the show's famous for being script torn up but apparently there was no scripts tear ups. Apparently whatever was submitted, that was what they went with. So that was the other rumor going around, was that there was no tear ups.
You cannot tell me. I'll tell you, dude, you barely watch Raw now. You barely watch Raw.
Oh, I tell you what, I tuned in last Monday. This Monday.
You haven't been watching since we started this about almost half a year ago now. You weren't watching it religiously.
I'm not a consistent watcher. I watch it on Hulu. Afterwards, I skip through it,
and that's nice because no commercials
or entrances.
They cut the fat. Yeah, they cut the fat of everything.
I love it on Hulu. Yeah. Hulu is the best version of Raw. Hulu's the best version of Raw. I'm sorry.
Nowadays, you can't bank on that. I wonder how Hulu's gonna do it now, because this past week of Raw, there was so much wrestling. But we'll talk about that in a little bit because we got to get to SummerSlam. Let's talk about SummerSlam.
But that leads us. So look, it's exciting because it gave us a SummerSlam that truly, for the first time in forever, not even ironically, unironically, you had to watch that show and smile because there was a lot of good, great, and awesome things on the one show.
I would say from start to finish, in my opinion, from start to finish, minus
they all had great. Oh, don't you dare. Don't get us off on a bad foot. So early in the show.
I'm just saying, start to finish.
Here it comes.
Minus one match that we'll talk about.
Oh, man.
Stop.
Oh, man.
Minus one match, in my opinion. I thought that show was phenomenal. I'm not going to like everything, bro. I'm not going to go, everything was fantastic, because then I'll be one of those guys. I'm not trying to be that guy. I didn't like everything that happened, but I would say 95% of the show. 95% of the show, I was like, damn, this is some good stuff that I'm watching right now. 95%. Can I have 5% where I'm like, nah, I'm not going to fed bad this fed bad. I'm not going to do that. I believe that show was one of the best pay-per-views they've done in a while.
Yeah.
Without a doubt. My attention to the pay-per-view was on 10 the entire time. It wasn't like, okay, it's this match, let me go make some popcorn, or let me go get a cheeseburger.
I did not find myself drifting on my phone or to go grab my Nintendo Switch or anything. Yeah,
exactly. So
the show did not serve as background noise at any point.
Right.
I also was actively engaged, and I watched the replay. I didn't watch it live. I watched the replay.
I watched some live, and I watched some of the replay as well.
Yeah, so there we go. I watched some live. I watched like the Mysterios match live, and the beginning of the Usos match live, and then that's when I turned it off.
Oh man, fantastic show though.
Tired. I was yeah. Listen.
What's up? What you got?
The next day, when I went to the basement the next morning, that's how I always gauge it. I always gauge how good or bad a show is depending how angry the basement is, right?
Yeah, sure.
Because the basement will have like a post about Dark, 98% and 3.2K comments. A post about Raw, 32%, 18 comments, 75 like upvotes. You know, where you're just like, what it's so disproportionate. It doesn't even make sense.
So everybody that's in the basement is just has an AEW shirt, a Britt Baker poster, Kenny Omega photos, Young Bucks 8x10, stuff like that's it. The Wheeler Yuta blood droplets in the card when he finally got over, right? Stuff like that. No. All right, listen. Let's get out of the basement. Let's go back up to the main floor.
The point of the conversation was that it was the opposite. There was so much love.
Wow.
Like when I tell you people were reaching for criticisms, the criticisms were, it was like, you know what? That hamburger that I loved and it was delicious. It's that bacon.
Terrible.
It just, you ever had bacon? It just tastes too much like bacon. You know what I mean? Like it's just too much like bacon. No. That was the argument. You're just like,
you're reaching.
Argument?
You're reaching. What? Bacon tastes amazing. Stop it.
It just, like it just had too much smokiness to it. A little too much, just a little too much bacon flavor.
You need
what? Like it was like that. I was just like, well, this isn't an argument, guys. Like you're arguing
for something.
Well, I'll tell you the argument when we get there in the show. I'll tell you what the argument was for like we should get a class action lawsuit. I literally read somebody who was like, I was there. This is ridiculous. Do you know how much I paid? I can take pictures of my stub. And I was like, I started screenshotting it and I was like, delete. I'm not even going to send this to you. Because it started going and I was like, because, the lawyers came out and it was like, yes, but I'll tell you about it. But anyway, overall, so what the point of that being, when that much of that section of the fan base is like, holy cow, I like the show.
Yeah, they don't want to say that.
I like the show, but fed bad.
The show was really good.
Fed bad, everybody.
Yes.
SummerSlam was awesome.
SummerSlam was awesome. But did you see Dark though?
Dark was amazing. Dark was SummerSlam in 2 hours, brother. I bet that's what somebody said.
Random sidebar. AR Fox was on Dark. Shout out to him finally getting a TV spot. I know it's dark, but shout out to him finally getting a shot at the major.
It's something.
Yo,
Dark Elevation or Dark?
Dark. I think the TV.
So Dark Elevation's the live show.
No,
that's why I was like, oh, really?
No, he was in like some 6-man.
Dark is a
studio.
He
was in some 6-man studio match. But either way, good. Shout out to AR Fox.
Hey,
the homie from back in the day.
Such a good dude, bro.
Yeah.
The first time I met him, homie was cool as.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He was good people. So that's why I was like, shout out to him. But he finally got a chance to be on TV, and I do hope he gets seen by a lot more people.
I feel like it was that one decision he made that's stopping him from being wherever he is.
Yeah.
We don't have to talk about it, but you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
he made one decision, and it's
big up to him because I just wanted to tell you that. Yeah, just want to share that with you because you said Dark, and I was like, that was something that was real.
That's dope. My boy,
but yeah, man. So
hold on, before you go on, my boy BRG was also on Dark.
Oh yeah,
he was on Dark Elevation, so he was at the live show the last time they were at the DCU. He got to work there, and he bumped around. I haven't watched the match yet, but I'm sure it's just a quick squash. But nonetheless,
this is why this is why. So I made a new friend. I'll tell you this random story. I made a new friend with the 00, with the real true to life $12.99 a month subscriber to the dirt sheets. Yes, he reads the dirt sheets. He reads the dirt sheets religiously, listens to Brian Alvarez immediately right after the pay-per-views. He parrots the takes. He does
regurgitates the same stuff.
Oh, tells me things like work rate, gets, and I screenshot. Well, like, right. I mean, you've got this, right? There's moments where I've been like, I tell you, I'll be like, oh my God, we were talking about something. And like, it just blows my mind because the things he says, his opinions are like, wow, you're a real fan who's discussing the business. Like you've been in the business,
like
but you're a fan who's, and that's, there's times when I'll just be like, have you ever bumped?
Yeah, right? Like, absolutely. That is a valid question.
Because when you read posts about like, oh man, these guys beat the absolute dog piss out of each other. I love a good match where guys get the dog piss out of it. That match SmackDown the other night, the Belfast Brawl match.
Oh, Drew and Sheamus. Yeah, that was the go home. The go home to SmackDown.
Were like, I'm not on a pay-per-view, but I'm gonna get this bag tonight. Yeah. What? But them boys all went in. Anyway.
Yep, go ahead.
That I like. That kind of stiff I like. But then there's a kind of stiff where you just watch guys beating their brains in, and it's just like, what? Why are you guys beating your brains in?
Watch MMA. Go watch UFC.
Right.
Go watch UFC if you want to see that. Go watch UFC.
And I got no grip about that. Section of the fan base loves the spot. Let's me and you just trade chops to the end of the ring. Loves the spot. Let's me and you trade forearms, but like not trade forearms, but let's stiff each other. Right. Each one snap. And that's the thing. And, those are typical matches that get classified as tickle, slap, everything bangers.
Yeah.
And my thing is, I get it, but as a fan, you ever been in the ring? Like, I get why we do it, etc. But it's the fact that we accept it. It's almost like, oh, you're not going to do the spot where you guys chop the crap out of each other and your chest look like taco meat when you're done?
Oh, well, it's cool.
What do you mean
cool
it's only the opening match?
It's cool to be the spectator for that until you're in the ring with a guy who can really beat the piss out of you and he gives you one and you're just like, oh, my chest can't handle this anymore.
Yeah. So that's I find oftentimes when I'm with him, we argue and I'm just like, that's the thing. Cause my mind's just like, what are you talking about? Because it's like on one hand, it's weird. Cause it's like, it's a modern fan. We're like, they're a fan, but they're informed about the business, but they're informed of it in like a slanted way.
I need to have a conversation with this guy.
Yeah, because I'm always telling him, do you hate wrestling? You hate wrestling. I love it. What are you I'm like, no, you hate it. Because anytime I'm like, oh, did you watch this? It was really fun. Oh, you love the playground. You love that children's stuff. And it's just like, what do you say? Every match can't be a work rate. Well, the work rate. And when we argue about work rate, I'm like, that's not a real term. It's a fan-made term. It's not real.
Can we seriously bring him? Can we seriously bring him on the show? Maybe for like half an hour.
I don't know if he would. I've been trying to get him to come on, and I don't know if he's ducking and dodging me or he just doesn't want to like.
I would just like to ask him some questions as a fan.
I promise you. I told him, I was like, bro, I was like, I'm not trying to got you or nothing. I was like, I just want you to talk to my homie. Like, I told him, you're the first fan who's like crazy about wrestling like me that isn't another wrestler. Right. I was like, that's the thing. Most crazy wrestling fans like me, we're in it. We're usually in the business.
We're crazy enough to go out there and do it ourselves. Right.
Correct.
Right.
He's somebody who he's like a crazy wrestling fan, but he didn't get it. He just watches it.
Because after you pointed out, like, oh, what does that even mean? I would like a fan, just a straight up fan, to answer the question of what is the definition of work rate? What's
the definition of sports entertainment that they hate it so much? That it's a dirty word. Like how have we seriously come to commonly accept the term sports entertainment and like sports? But it was fun when Shane Douglas said it for that ECW promo in context. Yeah. All these years later, we're still repeating that promo to each other. It's sports entertainment. I want Fez. No, you don't. Anyway, but yes, but you have to talk to him. I have to introduce you to him.
We have to do truthfully. We got to give him like 30 minutes. Just give him a 30 minute.
He calls me after. He calls me after all the time because he says all my takes are so old. He calls me after all the time.
He's coming out with another magazine, Vern.
Yeah. Because he'll tell me something and I'll give him some kind of take and I'll just write like a wall of text and he'll always tell me like, you got to slow down because I'll just be like, oh, you can't ask me a question. I expect me to give you everything.
You're over here like.
I'm like, wait, I gotta get my computer because I need to be able to type all these things out. Write an essay.
All right, speaking of sports entertainment, let's talk about SummerSlam.
Talk about the greatest sports entertainment. Looks, no cap. If you haven't seen the show, shut this off right now. Go watch it. You'll enjoy it and come back and listen to us talk about it. I seriously don't want to spoil it. That's how serious it is. Great show.
Yes,
great
just
show.
Like Vern said.
1, 2. You're done. If you didn't stop by then, you're out. Let's go.
All right, so let's do spoiler alert. We're on the way. Fire.
Yo,
you want to
opening match? Talk about it. Opening match.
We have we're not talking about I don't think we're talking about everything that happened on the show, but we're talking like
no. I want to talk about the matches that really like caught my attention.
And that opening match was
set
absolutely
the tempo of the whole card.
Becky and Bianca did what a first match should do on a pay-per-view. It set the tone. They set the tone from the jump.
Babyface, heel.
Oh,
they gave us a match.
But what's crazy is at one point the fans were behind Becky still. And let's be honest, Becky's a babyface. I've since Becky got her nose busted, I've never wanted to boo Becky. Becky's tried, but I've never wanted to boo Becky. Becky's the man. Big time Bex. Becky's the man. That's how I looked at her. She got over. She did a good enough job to be an adversary to Bianca. And let's not try to act like the entire story was phenomenal, but they delivered on at the end of this story. That's how I look.
Do you want me to do my Tommy Dreamer impersonation and give you 10 reasons why it was the best story?
Do you want me to throw my headphones right now and stop this podcast? We're not talking bad about Tommy. I'm not doing this. I'm not doing that. Nope. I'm not talking bad about Tommy. Can you just elaborate off of what I was saying? Well, like I said, Becky and Bianca, like you wrote in the notes, was a banger. They went out there. Work rate, let's call it work rate. They put on a phenomenal match. I love the finish.
They work like guys. They work like two guys.
Yes.
They were beating on each other at some point.
It didn't matter their gender. It didn't.
I got an opinion question. Do you think the shoulder pops out when she picked her up, the double arm chicken wing, and drops her because you see her fall and you see her fall right on her? That's where I think the shoulder pops. Because early in the match, it was early. Like literally, like one of the first spots they did together once they got back into the ring. She picked her up in the chicken wing, then she dropped her, and you see her fall, and you see Becky falls awkward to the left on her shoulder, and you see her immediately clutch her shoulder, and that's for the rest of the match. But and you see her do this.
Watch it.
You see her give herself a quick little move it in, and then you see her throw this awkward looking swing.
I'm trying to get my shoulder to crack on camera.
Away she went.
Yeah. I mean, on microphone. On
separated shoulder. It was disgusting.
I didn't even notice that.
Fought through it. Oh, watch it. Watch it again. Picks up, drops it immediately.
Yeah.
She was a soldier. Soldier.
So we wind up finding out that she's legitimately hurt, right? She's legit.
Yeah, that little deal. Did you see the picture of the match where you can actually physically see the shoulder down?
No, my gosh, because I've got a gimmick on my clavicle right now. If you can get it, you don't even have to. I'm about to say, if you can, you're gonna put it on your phone or on the computer.
I'll send it to you right now.
On the phone?
Daddy, oh yeah.
Okay, all right. But
yeah, Frank.
I love the finish, right? Because they were both, because she was selling the shoulder, but she was also working Bianca's shoulder as well. They were both working that portion of the body. And when Becky goes to do the second rope manhandle slam, because when she hit her with it the first time and then stacked her up for the pin and got the big kick out, which was a fantastic false finish.
Yo, but when she high stacked her, when she hit it with the high stack, that's it. The high stack, I was like, you're done. You're done. High
Kick out.
stack,
I was like,
over.
ooh, I was with him. I'm like, okay, now she's going for the manhandle slam off the second. I was like, okay, this is gonna be fire. Reversed into the Spanish fly. And what I love is Spanish fly, Canadian destroyers, code reds are done so much everywhere else. But it still can be meaningful if done the right way. And
Talk about it.
Bianca did it the right way.
Preach.
It was out of desperation. She had nowhere else to go. She said, you know what? I'm just going to backflip out of this instead of trying to do anything else. And it turns into a move for her.
Hit it and gets her up. And you see, she goes
KOD,
for it. Like, doesn't.
I love
the desperation.
Her
she
sense
looked
of urgency. Yes, like oh my God, I got
this and I have to win.
Yep. Fantastic.
I got tingles watching it. No cap. I got like, I could feel like emotion. I was like, holy cow. Like, I feel like this is exciting. Something just happened.
Yep.
I sent you the picture. Amazing. Check the picture. This picture's gruesome.
It was amazing. I was like, can I put that on the camera? Oh my!
Just look it up.
God.
Google Becky Lynch shoulder. It'll come right up in the first images.
Oh my God!
Did you not see that? That was like out like almost instantly. They had the photos out. Oh, it was horrible.
I'm looking at so many things when I'm watching a match. I think that's why I didn't. Oh my God!
That's where I think she pops the shoulder.
Oh,
it's rough.
If it's separated, then they can put it back. So that's a good thing. If it's you
figure she did the business she did on Monday, so it must have not been that bad for her to be willing to do the business.
If it's just in one of those casts where it doesn't allow it to move, she'll be all right. No surgery, I'm sure of that. It's just gonna heal on its own. Put it back in place, she'll be good to go. But they had a fire match. I love that finish, and then we saw what happened post match. Even the post match shenanigans
the post match shenanigans had Papa H all over it. All over
Bailey.
it. We get the NXT girls. So check it out. And this was, I love this. You had the return of not one, not two, but three women that legitimately not a single dirt sheet rider, not even the daggone frog.
The frog didn't get it either.
Or had it right.
That's
everyone
amazing.
Had it wrong.
You know how great that. I hope that goes on from now on. That these dirt sheets think they got the rumors right.
There was a legitimate surprise on professional wrestling from the Fed. You mean to tell me Papa Dave didn't get an insider? Old Slappy RS didn't have I heard someone say this outside the janitor closet.
Right. My sources. No sources leaked.
I was sold. When a surprise that made me go, shout out to EO Sky from EO Shirai to EO Sky. How you feel about the name change?
Yeah.
You're not angry? Too. You're not angry? You're not saying, this is ridiculous. Her name is EO Shirai.
Vern LaGreca,
relax. How cool was it that they called her on commentary?
Sky, EO Sky.
Who's the homie? No, who's the homie from who does the MMA?
Jimmy Smith.
Jimmy Smith called her EO Shirai, and then
Corey corrected him.
Corey corrects him, and then he goes to call her EO Sky, and I was like,
her graphic still said EO Shirai in the background.
Yeah, it was funny because when he said EO Shirai, I was like, okay, and then the next day everyone was like EO Sky, and I'm like,
EO Sky.
EO Sky. I thought he said Shirai yesterday.
Corey was saying EO Sky. Yep.
Yeah.
EO Sky.
So how do you feel about the name change, man?
Are you
ready? Are you ready to write a letter? Because you're that angry, you're that pissed off.
Stop!
How dare they?
Stop! How dare they? I'm an E-drone. I'm a Fed shill. Okay, you get your slave name. You go back. You go in the assembly line, and you go do your thing. All right. So, EO Sky, here's your name. You're no longer civilian. Shave your head. Welcome to the WWE. That's it. Come on now. I'll never. I don't see what's the big deal with the name change. As long as it works. Like when they said he's no longer Apollo Crews, he's Apollo. And then a few weeks later they said, hey, he's Apollo Crews again. That stuff doesn't make sense. But if you're gonna go with a name change and stick with it, like my man went from Eli Drake to LA Knight to Max Dupree, and he's got maximum male models.
Okay, wait. You said his name. Let's talk about the promo. We can skip ahead. We're not going to do everything. Let's talk about it. So all the rumors, all online.
Yeah.
I heard some of my favorite podcasts. Some of my favorite podcasts that made me sit there and yell back at them as I was listening, going, "What are you talking about?" That were all saying how this gimmick was rotten. This gimmick was disgusting. It was a gross, egregious, effeminate. You're placating to the lowest common denominator, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, and right, remember when you showed it to me, you were like, just watch this thing. I watched and I was like, yo,
I'm with it. I'm okay.
Homie,
let's see what it's about.
He dove into the character feet forward. You feel me? Head first, excuse me. Whatever they're saying, head first. You know what I mean? Like he wasn't. He didn't seem like he was trying to force it. It didn't seem like he was either like being like, "Oh, this sucks, so I'm just about to do this." Like it was like he was like, "Yo, this is my shot.
I'm gonna run.
Watch me do work. Watch me do work."
Yes. And this is why you can't hate the gimmick. I think I look at it like this, Vern. If they tried to run this gimmick in 1998 when we were kids and we were fans, we would have poo-pooed all over this.
Oh yeah.
Poo-poo. Oh, what is this? This sucks. These male models. What? That doesn't make any sense. But now we're grown men and we've been in the business and we understand you get limited opportunities.
These guys trying to get a chance to get on TV. Yeah.
These guys, we talked about Joe Madden before. We talked about Joe Madden. He was Mace. Now he's Marseille. The man has had a few shots, just like Angelo Dawkins. He's been there for like 12 years. And now it's starting to work for him. So you cannot.
On the Papa H, you're saying a lot of guys have that same statement. You can be said about a lot of guys literally from the last 2 weeks. A lot of guys who that statement is so true. They're just getting a chance right now. We're seeing a lot of guys getting a chance.
Opportunity. That's what they always say. Seize the opportunity.
Man.
If they want you to go out there, if they want you to go out there and pour water all over yourselves and hit your poses and
tell us about the promo. Tell us about the promo, man.
I'm trying to remember the promo now. It was an ad. It was a Nestle Pure Life ad. That's what it was.
A Nestle Pure Life ad that was so over the top sexual without being sexual.
It was ridiculous for the sake of being ridiculous.
It was men pouring water on their faces and down their bodies and acting like they were daggone Cavassier.
So
is that still a drink? Do people still drink Cavassier?
I don't think people still drink Cavassier, but I think it's still around. Nobody drinks that stuff. But this is what makes me think of it. I wonder if the fans, because the fans are a mostly male-dominated fan base. It's mainly males. What they say?
No, first of all, everyone knows the WWE shows there's only children. And
that's right. Only kids watch the WWE. Sure.
Only kids and their parents. Relax.
That's right. But let's
pretend.
For the
let's
sake
pretend.
Of argument.
Okay,
for the sake of argument.
Fine.
Right. It's mainly males.
Fictitious world. Yeah. Well, back in the 90s. Back in the 90s when wrestling was good. In the Attitude Era.
All right. Get out of your 00. I need you to take your hatchet off, your Hatchet Man, Tony Khan Hatchet Man shirt off, and put your Pedro.
By the way, I've never thought about a shirt I've wanted before the Tony Khan Hatchet Man. I don't know what that would look like, but I want it. I want a Tony Khan Hatchet Man. I'd wear that. It's just got
to be his face, like surprised on the Hatchet Man. It's
so
ridiculous.
I'm in there.
Oh my God. But no. Okay. So I think people are disgusted because it's men being sexualized. When are men ever sexualized in professional wrestling? And it's never been like a comedy gimmick, right? How everybody
gimmick or a gimmick that's so this gimmick's about sexuality. And so on the nose where it's like, oh, okay,
because
we get
the way they were pouring water on themselves and getting drenched, they're showing their chest. Maybe it makes some fans feel uncomfortable. So they're just like, oh, no, I don't like it. This is stupid.
It was like watching a video for Playgirl, if you will. Watching men strip. It was on that veins. Right. Everyone's acting like they were out there with dildos, double nogging and slapping themselves in the face with them. Where it's like, that's
water
not what's
on
happening.
Themselves. They're models. They're models. They're running with the model gimmick. It's
That's why the
okay.
whole like, oh, this has to do with sexuality again. No, it doesn't.
No,
This is
not
just
real.
men. They're
Right.
models. What is sexuality do anything with, like you're putting it in a box. You're yourself are now saying
That's what I'm
got
trying
do
to
it.
do
Like,
right now. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do right now.
like
But it's
no,
not
man.
that.
It's not
It's
that.
not that. It's these
It's
guys who are
dudes who are
seizing the
models.
opportunity. Right. They're models.
You've ever
They're
seen
seizing the opportunity.
Zoolander? You get it. If you watch
Right.
Zoolander, if you laughed at Zoolander, you can
should-
get this gimmick.
You should be dying
It's
at
pretty
that gimmick.
1-to-1. It's
Right.
really not that hard.
I just don't get, but that's wrestling fans. They're
But
fickle.
when they, can we talk about you? Yes, the Nestle. It was a Nestle ad. Have you ever another mark of change? Have you ever seen it where they've had such overt, like outside of like the, what were they called? Oh man, though the lugs edition. Hey yo, it's the Funk Flex Lug edition. This the big slam of the week. Shout out to you, WWE Universe. Let's go. Remember those commercials?
I do remember the lugs presented by Lugs.
The
JVC Kaboom Box.
JVC Kaboom Box.
Yes,
Bomb of the week.
So when
those outside of those random branding, but this was legit
an ad. Pure Life.
This is Nestle. This is Pure Life. Pure Life is the official drink of the Maximum Male Model.
Right.
What?
It works because now they can take any advertisement that they have for the show and they can use those guys if they want to. I feel like can I ask you a question? Let me ask you a question.
Shoot.
When do you think they need to actually be in the ring working? How long do you think it's going to be? How long do you think they need
honestly,
to do?
I think you do this and keep doing this until people get so pissed off they're throwing garbage in the ring and they're like, we hate you, why are you doing, like they build heat.
I don't think
So this is this is annoying and makes people uncomfortable. We're not heel heat yet. We're just annoying and we're just booing because it's different. We don't like it. We're not booing because we want to see somebody come up and beat the crap out of you.
Because remember who they booed too. They booed the New Day. They booed The Rock. They booed a lot of people that they got wrong. So
that's what I mean. That's why I'm like, just because the character makes me like a Dalton Castle character, because it makes me uncomfortable.
Oh, he'd be so perfect in the E. I don't understand how he's not there.
Right. So just because it makes me feel like, doesn't make it bad.
Right.
It's not your taste.
Right. With your professional wrestling, it's crazy. You should have a palette. You should have a whole palette for pro wrestling.
Pro wrestling fans, yes. You who are subscribing and spend $12.99 a month, just relax,
chill,
have fun.
All right,
to work.
So let's go.
Edge coming back. How do you feel about it? It's a man.
Let's talk about it. That's good. It's good because you mentioned ads. Remember?
Yes, exactly.
These dudes were dressed in that beer. What was the beer? Victoria, something like that, right?
Yeah, Victoria beer. They did a whole commercial. They said, "Oh, the official Mexican beer."
While they were coming out of their entrance. While they're coming out of their entrance.
And remember, and I told you, I was like, whatever. And as the match is going on, I'm like, what's that on Ray's head? I had to pause the screen. That's when I texted you. I was like, yo. He's got the branding on his mask. And you were like, bro, did you not see the colors?
I was like, did you not see the
what? And it's when it hits me like, yo, they're wearing Victoria brand gear. What?
So I'm guessing they paid for that spot. They paid for Ray. They paid for Ray to wear that. Like, hey, we want the most popular dude, the most popular Mexican wrestler at the
that
moment,
demographic. Yo, that was targeted. That was like that Facebook level of when you Google search cats and then all of a sudden
you got cat
every ad on Facebook is like every cat. You're like, what the hell? Every
algorithm, get out of my phone. Algorithm.
Yes, the algorithm gets you. It was like WWE was like, yo, we're about to mess with y'all algorithm real fast. It was like, what is happening to the algorithm now?
You know how WWE is with their reach. They'll if they can get outside of the US, however they can, they will. And I'm sure they got approached like, hey, we want to do some kind of collaboration. Ray got a little bit of the payday. So did Dom. Who knows? Bro, I'm not mad at it.
The Nestle deal, then this Victoria deal.
I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you. It's only gonna, I feel like it's gonna revert back to that, like what you were talking about with the ads being put into the show, but not to the point where, like, do you remember how for a while Vince would take, the E would take like the New Day or like the primetime players and make them talk and like, oh, buy this shirt and look at this shirt's on sale and blah 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 and this that, and it's like you're taking away from the show just to do an advertisement. These were like a part of the angle or a part of the show, and you still had the advertisement going, and you didn't feel like it took away from the show at all. Like
and it didn't feel cheesily forced into it either.
You had your Maximum Male Model segment who had a plug for Nestle. Okay, once that
water.
was done, you're good for water.
And at no point did it feel like a plug. It felt like they were like, "Oh, we drink water, just wild, sexy."
Right.
It's like what?
Like it's a legit ad, but they treated it like an angle, which I liked. I liked about that. And then with this joint with Ray, it's like, yo, it was legit like a sponsor. They might as well have just made his gear for him. You know what I mean? And I'm okay with that. It's a quick. They could put the banner at the bottom. He's sponsored, the beer sponsor. They got the eyes on him. Everybody down in Texas and Mexico and all that area, I'm sure it's distributed. People won't go get Victoria beer now because Rey Mysterio had the advertisement for it. But let's talk about that match and Ray. I remember Ray coming back, Edge coming back, man. What you think about that deal with him coming back?
Shout out to him doing that in the butt tight jeans. Shout out to him.
Can you like warn me when you're gonna say something like that while I'm drinking water?
I'm just saying, like, yo. Shout out to him looking like PC Principal.
Oh my God.
The sunglasses on. He looked like PC Principal with that guff look on his face. He was walking to the ring chewing. But beyond that, though, I dug the business, man. He got a huge reaction from the crowd. People went insane. Entranceway, the way the lighting was, the treatment with the fire. WWE does everything so high class, so first class sometimes. You know, that when they get an entrance right, they get it right. They know how to make it just seem so big. And it felt like that was probably the word of that show for me, is just this show felt big.
Oh, yeah.
It felt like a big show, you know?
So we got this return from Edge pretty much because there's no more Cody Rhodes, right? Is that what you would say? No Cody, got to replace a baby face. So we put Edge in that position.
I think that'd be safe to surmise.
I think it sucked because I kind of wanted to see where it went with the Judgment Day, what they were gonna do.
There's the true victim of this all, was just that Judgment Day angle.
Right, because it seemed like it was an idea. It's like it seemed like it was like his baby, like his passion project.
Like, I guess that's the part about it that was weird.
And then they had to phase him out because they lost a big baby face. So who's the next guy we can put?
So do you put any stock in all the rumor that it was just Edge was hated, that they wanted to go supernatural, and Edge was just like, I'm out the gimmick. Keep me out the group then if you're going to make it go supernatural.
Okay, let's think of that. Let's think of that theory, right? Because that was weeks ago.
That was the prevalent, accepted, this is the truth.
Okay, so tell me something supernatural that Finn Balor, Damian Priest, or Rhea Ripley have done since that rumor came out. You're shrugging your shoulders because they haven't done anything supernatural. So whoever came up with that rumor and then it circulated around the dirt sheet circuit was clearly wrong on that point.
The dirt sheet circuit was that was why Edge got out, because they were going to go more into magic and mystical powers, and he was like, no, wanted the characters grounded in reality.
So I look at it like this. Edge was probably hot. Edge was probably hot at the fact that he had to now reverse roles and go back to being a baby after he went all this way to go heel.
After he cut his hair.
Dude cut his hair to be this heel persona. Then he had to cut it even shorter as he came back as a babyface to change his persona again. And it's like, I can understand that, especially, let's say Edge was the one that came up with this idea. Edge was like, I want to have some younger guys to help build them up, and I want to be heel, and I want to see how far I can take this. And then for that to be like, I'm sorry, you got to go back to being a babyface. I can see him being mad about that, about some rumor about supernatural nonsense where we didn't see that even with Vince at the helm, and now with H at the helm, they haven't done anything supernatural.
Well, don't you remember the beatdowns where they were beating down Ray and his son in the back, and the lights were turning blue, and they were disappearing in the room, reappearing in the room. AJ didn't see them. You remember those vignettes? They disappeared, man. They can reappear, disappear in rooms.
Okay, can we keep?
They can turn the lights blue.
I'm glad Edge is back. I can't wait to see what they do, because the one thing that intrigues me, and we didn't write about this, is Rhea Ripley. I want to know.
China, the China we never got to see fully develop.
Right.
What China could have been. And I mean that with all the respect and love in the world to China and Joanne for her contribution. What China could have been,
you meant
Joni, my bad, Johnny. I mean, with all the respect in the word, shout out to Joni. All the respect in the word, Joni. Because shout out to you, but Rhea Ripley is what Joni had the potential to be had Joni just
want to be a worker. She glammed herself up because that was what was asked for her back then. So she went glam. She got all pretty.
She went glam. But did Rhea not do this? But did Rhea not do the same thing though? Rhea has glammed herself up from her NXT days, and now Rhea's gotten way more glammed up than she was before.
Well, that's the WWE money glow up. Sasha did it. Charlotte has done it. They all better themselves, is what I'm going to call it. Sure. They all better their look to what they want. We'll say that to what they wanted. Yeah. I think Rhea gave herself a look that is very different from everybody else
and works. She looks like a mega star when you like the woman. That woman is piercing when you see her.
There's girls. Remember WrestleMania? Girls dress up like Rhea. She's got that kind of star power right now.
Yep.
And I believe when she's getting physical with Dominic, I believe it. How she's grabbing him. She had him in that head scissors in the corner, right? And her face.
Him.
I'm like, yes, this is what I want to see. Because
the promo when she did on Monday when she walked in and snuffed his sister, and she was just like, what? Yo.
Like, yeah, I'm like, yes. And then she like kicked Dom in the arm or something. I can't remember. Kicked Ray in the arm.
Yeah, kicked Ray in the arm, and then she was over him like, what? Say something. Punched him. I was like, damn. I said, yo, ain't no do nothing.
I would love to see more of that. Because I feel like, okay, you're saying the women can never get physical with men. I get why. I understand. It's pro wrestling.
Yeah, but
age-old adage.
Different.
Rhea is the different breed. I can understand if you're like Alexa Bliss can't punch Roman Reigns in the face. Okay, all right, I get that. I totally get that. But Rhea can hang physically with her look, physically with a lot of the male superstars, like Rhea next to a Ciampa. If Rhea hit Ciampa in the face, I'd believe that hurt Ciampa. You get what I'm saying? Like, I can believe that. So when she's doing things to Ray, she's doing things to Dominic, I hope they do more of that, because I'm like, that's something that you haven't seen since like a China, or even briefly with Nia Jax when she bumped for the guys in the Rumble. That was like the last time we seen it.
Yeah.
I can't remember what Rumble that was. I can't remember, but that was like the last time we seen it. So you just block a sneeze right there.
Because you bring us something fun here.
Sure.
So you're talking about Dom, and there's a match we didn't talk about yet.
Okay.
It's Logan Paul.
Okay. That was what we're going to talk about next.
Yes. So Logan Paul killed it. He did. Logan Paul killed it because he had somebody who led him through that thing, and Logan Paul held
he had the best heel in WWE. Don't do that. Don't you downplay the Miz, sir.
You're not bad.
The best heel in the WWE.
Best heel in WWE.
Prototype.
And Miz and my man Miz led him by the nose, and he let himself on the way. He delivered on his end, right? He delivered.
For sure. Go ahead.
So a lot of the chatter online, a lot of the chatter downstairs. Jake Paul in 2 matches is better than Dom is in 2 years.
You mean Logan Paul in 2 matches?
Yeah, what did I just? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Logan Paul. I apologize.
Logan Paul.
I always do that. Logan Paul in 2 matches has already shown himself to be better than Dom in 2 years. That Dom's been. Wait, that the only reason any of us are even discussing Dom right now is because is nepotism. Outside of nepotism, Dom doesn't deserve to be here because Dom is greener than goose poop. Go.
What?
Dom looks like crap. Dom looks like crap. Dom moves like crap. He's sloppy in the ring. He hasn't gotten any better. He doesn't have the look. Doesn't have it. I promise you. I promise you.
Dom ain't got it. Dom ain't got it.
I'm trying to remember what was the. I'm telling you the more outrageous ones. I mean, I read tons of it. There's like more outrageous ones.
I'm sure.
But Dom doesn't have it. He has a very punchable face. The thing he needs is to wear a mask. He needs to get a mask on his face and go heel. And he'll be a mid carder for like at best. At best, he's a mid carder at best. And that's again only because of his daddy. He doesn't deserve the spot, though. He doesn't deserve the spot. He's in the spot he doesn't deserve. That's about the gist of it. The rest of it was all praise on Logan Paul. Logan is, the natural. Logan is Kurt Angle, apparently, with the naturalness.
So
how do you feel about all that?
Because we're going to talk about Logan Paul right now anyway.
Correct. That's why I wanted to have that conversation, because you brought up Dom and you said that whole thing. And so how do you feel about that?
I'm not going to downplay Logan Paul. There's no way. I'm not going to downplay Logan Paul. Logan Paul has had 2 incredible matches. Okay. He's done his thing in both of them. He's performed very well, and he's done a great job for a guy who's only 2 matches into his career. Fantastic job, Logan Paul. Okay. Logan Paul was also a product of being in there with terrific dance partners. Put Logan Paul in a match on NXT with Von Wagner and tell me he's going to have the same performance that he has working The Miz or working Ray and Dominic like he did at Mania. You see how I raised my voice there? Because you
didn't think he outshined Dominic the entire time, and it wasn't super obvious
Mania?
To everyone there that's what got him the job.
Oh, because he worked better than Rey Mysterio's kid. Is that the reason why? Because Rey Mysterio's kid is so bad, Logan Paul looked that much better. That's
the tinfoil hats that were out in the basement on this were like, watch, go back and watch that match. He outshined him, and anybody who watched that match didn't walk away going, "We got to sign this kid. We picked the wrong one."
Don't get me wrong. Listen, Logan Paul, there's something there.
Sure.
Let me not say that. There's a lot there. His reach, his audience, of course, his audience and his reach, number one. That's another set of eyes.
It's a diamond in the rough. Right now, it's an uncut gem. It's just we know it's worth something.
We just don't know how much yet.
If you have a diamond that is the size of a couch, it's not worth as much as a diamond that's cut and it's cut perfectly.
Precisely. Correct.
It's not worth the same thing.
So, like I said, Logan is amazing. Logan is fantastic. Logan has been protected.
Yeah, but he's the uncut gem.
Logan has been protected. Dominic is pretty much out there with the pack and the wolves, right? Working pretty much every week. And I have not seen anything from Dominic that made me say, nah, he's terrible. He's whack. He's garbage. He doesn't deserve to be there. I've not seen anything. I've even seen times, I think from when he was there, because he was there during the pandemic, if I'm not mistaken.
That's when he started.
He started during the pandemic wrestling.
Yeah.
He started then to now. I think there was one point I saw Dominic. I said, man, this dude's improving. I said, it's not like meteoric improvement where he's going through the roof, but he's getting better gradually.
So we've been watching that. My point of the conversation was like, we've been watching on 2 years on TV for 2 years.
He's been on TV for 2 years.
And we watched him throughout the pandemic where a lot of fans had a chance to hyper analyze everything he did.
Right, because
so you can't say he was sloppy. He was horrible. Yeah, he was, because he was green. He was green.
And I bet those same people, you tell them to do a top rope arm drag where you're falling right arm like a luchador. Let me see them do that and see how well they look when they do it. Like, I don't want to hear that, bro. That's nonsense. Straight nonsense to think a guy who's done it 2 years, protected by, and I told you this because your hat was out to dry or whatever you want to call it on the Miz. You was all set with the Miz, like, oh, the Miz, forget this guy. I've been calling the Miz the prototype heel for the WWE from day one, and he could have worked a mop that night. If the mop was able to jump from the top turnbuckle to the floor, that place would have went crazy.
And the little things he did, right? The little things Miz did to get the people behind people behind Logan Paul. That moment where he yelled at the crowd, "What? Are we at an indie show? A WWE superstar is acknowledging
are massive.
Who are you right now? You're yelling at the people right now, like at a pay-per-view,
bro. You cannot tell me, Miz. There's a reason why. I think, did we have this conversation already? Okay, the last few celebrities that have worked for the WWE. Let's go back last year's WrestleMania. Bad Bunny, right? This year's was Logan Paul, right? Big celebrity. It was Logan Paul. You had Stone Cold. You can call Stone Cold a celebrity, but he was a worker. You had Pat McAfee, but I feel like McAfee is now a semi-timer, part-timer, more than he is.
Pat don't play.
He's more of a part-timer than he is a celebrity coming in. I'm talking about Bad Bunny, Logan Paul. Who did Bad Bunny work?
El Miz.
The Miz and John Morrison. And Bad Bunny and Damian Priest.
Johnny Fed.
Johnny Drip Drip, Johnny Dynamite, Johnny Dark, Johnny.
That's what I'm saying. So Johnny Fed.
What was his other one? Johnny Mundo. Gosh, there's so many. He worked Johnny, right? Who did Logan Paul work with at WrestleMania?
El Miz.
Correct. To quote my boy, listen. And then he works him at Summer WrestleMania. Bro, come on. The Miz is the reason why Logan Paul looks as good as he looks.
Yeah.
I want to see Logan work. I'm sure they're going to still protect him because that's
okay. So
you have to
hear the rumors. I got the fresh rumors for you. Fresh take rumor for Logan Paul. His next program is going to be U.S. title. Who's the guy? What's his face?
Bobby Lashley's the champion right now.
So rumor has it they're gonna program him with Lashley.
Why?
That Tommaso's gonna get a push. Tommaso's gonna take the belt off of Lashley. Then Lashley's gonna get programmed into something with Jake Paul.
Logan.
Why do I keep saying Jake? Logan.
There's no, and I like Lashley.
This is the rumor.
I know, of course, and I'm responding to that.
No. What do you mean no?
No, because
you don't like it. Why don't you like it?
Because The Miz is a better driver than Lashley.
That was my fear. My fear was like, on paper, okay.
Oh, it
in
sounds
actuality,
cool. Lashley.
Well, I don't know if Jake Paul's the heel to Bobby Lashley as a face. Gosh darn it, Logan. This is, you know what this is? This is shoot like our real lives. It feels like we're back at work. That's why I keep back at work where I'm talking about somebody. You just keep saying, I'm like, come on.
Like, this is his actual name, not that other guy.
Yeah.
I mean, that was your gimmick for your manager gimmick. That's like
Logan.
Real.
Anyway, Logan. Yeah, Logan.
But, we're talking about how he's
so Logan's gonna be Logan has to be a red hot. Even if Logan was a red hot heel, you think Logan's a red hot heel? Doesn't matter.
You know what I would do? You don't finish this with the Miz yet. You don't finish it with the Miz yet. You include AJ because you already have at the pay-per-view. You get some tag matches out of it with AJ and Logan and Miz and Ciampa. Okay? After his whole, I think he's going to lose to Bobby Lashley. I don't think Ciampa has enough momentum to defeat Bobby Lashley as a heel. A surprise babyface win if he was a babyface? Sure. But a dominant heel win over Lashley or a cheap win over Lashley, it doesn't do anything.
It's a new regime.
Oh, I totally understand that. But,
listen to me. I heard rumors. My friend Mark told me. All right.
Good guy. The good guy, Mark. Love you, Mark. Love you.
My friend Mark told me that Johnny Gargano is on a plane coming to the next tapings because there are NXT 1.0, 1.5 is on its way back, Daddy.
Okay.
Get your black t-shirt, rock music, skull and crossbones.
Bring them back.
Okay, wait.
Backwards.
To jump real quick. How do you feel about all those guys Tony Khan announcing they're all signed to 5-year deals?
Oh, he was being
How
petty.
do you feel right now?
That was that was weeks ago, but he's being petty. Like, oh, this guy, Alistair, Malachi Black, he signed a 5-year contract.
Okay,
Adam Cole still got 4 years on his.
But these are all guys that were Triple H guys. They're all under 5 years. Are they doing the meme where they've got the tears, the smiley face mask with tears running down their face because they're locked in for 5 years?
I don't think so. You want to know why?
Shoot.
Because when their 5 years
schedule,
are up,
decent money.
Their 5 years are up. They are in decent enough shape if they're not killing themselves.
Wait.
If they're not killing themselves, hold
How
on.
Many barbed wire explosion death.
If
matches?
they're not killing them, if they're not dumb enough to kill themselves, they coast for these next 4 or 5 years. Get that money. Work once a week. No house shows. They're gonna have to start doing house shows. I bet soon. But get your bag, and when it's time, contact the office and say, I'm ready. I'm ready to come back.
But what do you do when you're addicted to bangers?
Oh, I'm sorry. I guess you're staying in AEW to do all the bangers you want. You can do your bangers, you can bleed, you can do thumbtacks, barbed wire, exploding rings.
I'm being honest.
Cage.
But think about it. Think about Alistair and think about Cole. The way they work has changed. They've adopted the you can smell the grisly stench of indie all over them.
Adam Cole is a totally different person now. The Adam Cole that used to work at PWG, the Adam Cole that I saw at CZW, that I was like, man, this kid's actually good. Because he was working and not doing all the stupid death.
The Adam Cole who did the the pro wrestler documentary.
That Adam Cole.
Yes, Adam Cole. It's all about him.
NXT Adam Cole is not the same guy I'm looking at AEW right now. Totally different guy. I'm not a fan. Just like
the one now, definitely the Adam Cole right now in AEW, he gave up his Planet Fitness subscription. He's not a Black Card member no more.
And you know how much of a M word I was for the Bucks. This version of the Bucks, I'm not a big fan of either. Surprising to say. But.
Look, the Bucks have gotten the Bucks. You know, the Bucks graded on me forever and 10 years ago.
A minute ago, and you know me, I defended the Bucks.
I know,
but this version, I don't know. I just can't. But
you're not a fan of edgy teenagers.
Yeah, no, I'm not.
Guys
I got a teenager in about 7 years that I
guys who played the penis game and go, ready? How high can we say that word and not get in trouble, guys? Ready? Penis. Like, I'm cool. Okay, guys.
No thanks. Let's move on. Like we were saying, Logan. I'd love to see what they do next with Logan, because if it's Lashley.
But to put a stamp on your comment, sir, you are fully in disagreement that Logan Paul is not a better worker right now than Dominic Mysterio. You think it's hogwash, it's poppycock.
Vern,
your face says it all.
We've actually done this. That's how I look at it. I feel like we have a inside edge on the business than those people that you go down to the basement to and commingle with, right?
Yes.
So
that I fight with, that I realize now, like there's one kid, like the double I'm friends with, who's just like, why do you text me to fight with me? And I was like, shut your mouth. Give me your opinions on.
This is my fun part of the day.
I was like, this is how I pass my time at work. When I have moments when I need, when I tell him, I was like, dude, I got 10 minutes to take a brain rest. I was like, I need 10 minutes to decompress. I was like, the next 10 minutes we need to talk about wrestling before I got to get back on to get back to work. So I was like, I need these 10 minutes. Anyway,
and I'm just thinking in my head, there's no way.
Yeah.
A person who's been in this business would say something like that. A person who's had 2 matches is better than a kid who's been on TV for 2 years straight. What? How can you say that? You've seen the man twice. He's delivered both times. Do not get me wrong. Logan Paul has absolutely delivered. He's hit all his marks. He's hit all his spots. There's minor tweaks, but that comes with experience, something he doesn't have. You cannot tell me a person who's wrestled twice, who's been protected both times with the best heel in the WWE, is better than a kid who's been out there for 2 years. Yes, he's with his father. Yes, nepotism is a thing. Guess what? It happens everywhere. There's kids that run $1 million corporations into the ground because their daddy made it for them and just handed them the business over. It happens.
Excuse me. Don't discuss Tony Khan like that. Thank you. All right. I don't have you talking about Matoni like that. All right. Matoni doesn't deserve. All right. Don't discuss Matoni with Madub, all right? Madub doesn't deserve that kind of backhanded discussion of yours there, sir.
If you haven't heard our last episode, sir, episode 11, Prepare for Flair on Spotify. Hey, I don't have the banner running on Spotify, Stitcher, Spotify, Anchor, Amazon Music, Radio Public, and Stitcher.
Let's go.
And you'll hear how we talk about how he's probably not even actually the owner. It might be just his daddy. But moving on, let's keep talking about this SummerSlam. We are at Riddle and Rollins. What you think of that segment? Let's be quick on this one. So we can
fun little segment. I wish they would have fought in the. I wish when Rollins took off running, and Riddle took off running, I wish security would have just let them get close enough to get a sea of people in between them to get a little chaos. They're almost going to break through a little chaos, and then eventually pull them apart. No, get Riddle to the ring to get the baby face. Come on, and get Riddle and get Rollins is being pulled back, and Rollins is seething, just seething.
So you didn't want him to touch it all.
Because the neck thing, whatever, that whole neck. Because I just think him stepping on the neck thing, like you just the seriousness, the gravity of this neck injury, and then you're just making an angle, and you're just like, okay, so it's not that bad.
Right? He's not. He's okay. He's just so. Is he legitimately hurt?
I'm going to suspect so because he's been gone for a minute. So I have no reason to believe why not.
Right. Maybe he wasn't. Maybe he's not. Let me say it, not legitimately hurt. Maybe he wasn't medically cleared legit. Like they said, okay, this injury is bad enough. We don't recommend you wrestling on it until it's fully healed. So that could have happened. I feel like, and I'm gonna say this, I feel like if it was Vince who ran that SummerSlam, we wouldn't have seen that. They just wouldn't have had that segment at all. That's my opinion. I think we wouldn't have seen Riddle and Rollins interact at all. They'd like, match got scrapped, screw it. We'll have more time for Roman and Brock. I feel like something like that would happen. But I feel like under my daddy, Papa H, I feel like he was like, let's keep him involved. Because
is that why you think he had the Drew promo? That
absolutely
random mid just rah-rah, get the crowd involved, rah-rah promo.
Get the crowd hyped, talk about Clash at the Castle, plug the next pay-per-view, because the next pay-per-view is in September.
Old school. Is it not a super old school build where you had them plugging the pay-per-view? You had them angles throughout the show. It was a really good pay-per-view. It was a fun little show.
To this day, things like that works. Bring he's an over baby face. He comes out, he's got the big sword, over baby face, talk to the people.
How weird a gimmick. I was like, I hate it. It's a sword. What the hell are you gonna do with it in wrestling?
I think we said it about WrestleMania. Yeah. Still running around with it.
Still running around and it's getting over. Hey, they knew better than me. That's why they make millions and I don't.
All right, but I did like the Riddle and Rollins angle.
Yeah, me too.
Like I agree with you. I think it should have just been a big pull apart.
I think just let them get that like almost Austin Tyson, like it's gonna get physical and like
you ruined it.
Oh, if you'd have had just that, there's another McMahon moment. There's another McMahon moment.
You ruined it, damn it. Swiping at him. You ruined it. I love it. I love it.
How angry he was because it was like, yo, something just happened that wasn't supposed to happen. Like, Vince,
this is real. This is real, and that's the best part. That's the best parts of pro wrestling when they say, that stuff, all that other stuff was fake, but that right there, when Austin and Tyson were in the ring, that was real. And they could have had a moment like that, Riddle and Rollins. They
so
you just
it was tension. That was the only part I liked. I liked all of it. I liked when the officials came out that they were chasing Rollins. It was like, hey, come on.
They like couldn't catch up to him.
What they couldn't keep pace with him was like, oh, great, because the worker's faster.
Yeah,
it all worked. All of it worked, but I just wish they didn't do the wrestling angle.
They didn't touch, right? It's
they didn't touch and get in the ring, and then he hits him with the finish. Where I was just like, why did you just whack him? Why'd you hit him with the finish? If his neck's hurt,
it's fight.
So that was the only finish. But that's being nitpicky, and that's being nitpicky.
But that's what we're doing. That's what we're doing.
Yeah, being nitpicky. But beyond that, I dug it. I liked it. It felt pro wrestling.
So you liked it?
Yeah.
I talked to you something about something I didn't like. Let me tell you about something I didn't like. Let me tell you.
No, talk about it.
Let's talk
about before we get there, because the match that happened before, just before you get there, the tag match. With the tag matches before the ladies.
Uso Street Profits?
Yeah. How'd you feel about that? Real quick, did the right team win? Is it time? Did the right team win?
No.
What do you mean?
The Usos are not done yet.
Okay. I was like, wait,
Usos
what?
are not done yet.
Okay.
I
The right
enjoyed.
team did win. You mean the right
team did win. I'm sorry. Yes, the right team did win.
That's why I was like,
apologize.
wait, I'm not good.
I apologize. I liked the Money in the Bank match more. I think because I wasn't expecting it to be a goodie, a banger, and I was like, damn, this match is fire. So now here's SummerSlam, and I'm like, yo, what are they gonna do? And it was like, this match is good, but I was like, okay, this match is good, instead of like, yo, this match is heat.
Felt like they walked in there going, damn, we gotta kind of do something like we did last time, huh?
Right.
It almost felt like they were hitting some similar notes. The pacing of it felt a little similar, but I didn't. So I liked the finish. I thought the finish was like, okay, that was a little different.
Yep.
Different use of the barricade, right, etc. But the match itself, it felt like there was a lot of start stops, like when like, so there was no hot tag, right? Did you catch there was no hot tag?
Very
what
weird.
was supposed to be the hot tag, Montez just jumped in and that was it.
Yeah, it was odd. And that's the most important part.
Like, so there was just parts where I feel like the crowd wasn't fully behind. The crowd got into it as the match progressed.
Correct.
But when they went for the hot tag, it was like, this is the coldest. It was an iceberg tag. It was freezing.
Yes.
It was horrible.
The match wasn't bad. I'm not trying to say, the match was terrible, but you have to compare it to what they just did out there.
And that's
the month
the problem.
prior at Money in the Bank.
And that's the problem. That last one was like too good.
It's kind of like follow
for
this.
What you expected.
Yeah, it was follow this, and they couldn't, because they did so well that first time. But it wasn't a bad match.
Are you agreeing? Like, so Bully Ray has a theory. In a match like that, you have to take the notes of that last match that hit well, repeat those notes, but then you got to sing new songs all around it. You got to take the parts that hit well and build on those. And I think these guys were like, let's get something really similar to what we had last. And that's what I didn't like. Instead of being a tight match, because the last match at Money in the Bank was tight, man. Those dudes, they were just hitting. Firing and they were hitting. Yeah. This one felt like there were missteps. Like there was parts that were trying to get the crowd into it. There were parts where it felt like they were just slowing down for nothing.
Yeah.
It never got fully going for me, but again, it wasn't a bad match. It just, I walked in going, oh, if they can get close to what we had last time. I personally had so much in that match expecting a banger.
I think we put the match at a pedestal so high that there was no way they were going to reach it. And it's not no fault of them. They had such a great match at Money in the Bank.
The curse of a great match. You have a great match, and everyone always asks, well, what's next?
Right. It was like, I don't know, a rapper putting out his best single he ever put out. Like there's a rapper or a musician, whatever, always has that one song that they'll never top. Mm-hmm. I'm not saying this was it for the Street Profits and the Usos, but for right now, there was nothing that can beat what
when you drop in the club. When you drop in the club, no matter how many more hits you come out listening, you will have hits upon hits upon hits. But once in the club hits,
forget it.
You're done.
Everybody knows you for the go. Everybody knows it. So
all right. 50 showed it. No matter how many units he sold since, etc. You in the club hits. That's just you hit the Super Bowl upside down as a 50-year-old man.
Right.
At the Super Bowl upside down.
Still singing the same record. Right. I think I was going to talk about, can we talk about what I didn't like? The one thing I didn't like about the show.
Please, I want to hear your take on this and why you didn't like this.
I was not a fan of Liv Morgan and Ronda Rousey. Not a fan.
Why?
Okay, so first off, I'm not a fan of Liv Morgan.
So just so we begin this. So you watch the match. Okay, thank you. So you watched it. Okay.
I didn't hate.
You did watch it because you just said I don't like her, so I'm predisposed to not like it. She's breathing. Oh, it sucks. -3 stars. Okay. Thank you. Okay. No, I just want to set the baseline. She's breathing. -3
speaking
stars.
Of base, do you feel like I'm in the basement right now?
Yes, because the way you're
they started off
Liv Morgan and then with Ronda Rousey. This is unbelievable. Everyone knows Ronda could kill her.
See, that's not what I was gonna say. I'm not a fan of Liv because Liv doesn't portray a professional wrestler in my eyes. She's playing wrestler, right? That's how I feel. She's playing wrestler. She was out there with somebody who's legitimate, a legitimate ass kicker. She's beating people up. She's choked people out. So there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. She can legit, in an actual fight, she probably beat Liv Morgan's ass, right? The match
this isn't an actual fight.
Right. It's professional wrestling. It's professional wrestling, Vern. Okay?
Sure.
Even though she won it the way she won it, she didn't tap out to Ronda's ankle lock submission.
Correct.
So she's got resiliency. She's got heart. She didn't tap, and she found a way.
Tiene fuego.
And she found a way to win the title. So she's your champion. Come on, let's go. Make some noise. Right?
Yes.
She's a champion.
Yes.
Did Liv Morgan feel like a champion on Saturday? In your
Liv
opinion?
Morgan felt like a champ who just got by. Who, thank goodness she got by.
She got
thank
by.
Goodness she made it. Thank goodness
she got by.
She made it by the final boss. Sometimes
that's the story.
Mega Man. Sometimes Mega Man makes it with
1 HP.
Sometimes Mega Man makes it with a full bar. Sometimes you get with 1 HP. Hey man,
bro,
a victory 1 HP is a victory though. No.
Okay. Now don't you? That's
of course. As we always say, in the wins and loss columns, it never says.
Doesn't matter. How. It doesn't say bye. It
doesn't matter how the angle was. It's just wins and losses.
In professional wrestling, wins and losses.
Ronda Rousey put over Liv Morgan. That's all that matters.
In professional wrestling, Ronda Rousey put over Liv Morgan.
Okay.
In the most terrible way possible.
Why? How? It wasn't akin. It wasn't a
champion. She did not look like a champion.
Someone you just said was a legit shooter. She should. So then the legit shooter had her number. The legit shooter got her to tap.
For an entirety of. Hold on.
Oh, really? You're going to be that guy right now? Okay. Now. All right, folks. So what he's doing now is he's letting his beard grow down to his neck right here. He's got a plate full of tendies. He's got a plate full of tendies.
I want to see how long they went. They went 4 minutes and 35 seconds. Bobby Lashley and Theory went 4 minutes and 45 seconds. Okay? Right? Right? Bobby Lashley and Theory went 4 minutes and 45 seconds. Did Bobby Lashley and Theory's match feel like 5 minutes long?
Are you attempting to compare Bobby Lashley and Theory to grown men looking like two beefcakes?
Answer the question. Don't do that. They are all professional wrestlers.
You're right. You're two girls. You're right. Okay, you're right. Okay,
don't do that.
Superstars. You're right. All right, I won't gender them. You're right.
Answer the question.
Fine.
Answer the question.
Yes.
Did Bobby Lashley and Theory feel like 5 minutes?
Those two superstars felt like two WWE superstars going at it. Yes, sir.
For 5 minutes. Did it feel like 5 minutes?
Sir. Yes, sir.
It felt like 5 minutes.
No, it was smash. It was smash, bash, grab, car wreck wrestling. It was great. I wanted more. I wanted you to feed it right into my system.
So, did you feel that same exact way with Liv and Ronda?
Not at all. Anything with Liv and Ronda. Oh, with Liv and Ronda, I felt sympathy on Liv. I was like, oh, come on, Liv, you could do this. Liv, come on, Liv, get scrappy. Liv, come on, Liv, fight back, Liv.
I checked out from
but you're predisposed to hate her.
I did not. I even if I don't like the worker, even if I don't like I don't like the worker.
Yo, bro, from your own.
Can I finish? Can I finish? Even if I don't like the worker, I will sit and watch the work. And the work sucked. The work was awful. They missed spots. They were not gelling with each other. They did not gel, bro. I'm not saying it was clean. I'm not saying it was
my gripe. No one said it was clean. But to say the finish didn't make sense, why doesn't the finish make sense? Yes, you did. You just would tell me, oh, that felt like a champion. That felt like a champion. The way she won, that felt like a champ. Why not?
She got her number. But see, you're taking me saying, did she look like a champion as did the finish suck? I didn't say the finish sucked. I said the finish was in the first minute.
Take it back.
Rewind this.
Can we get the truck?
Rewind
Steve in the truck. Steve, are you in the truck right now? I need you, Steve. God darn it. You know what?
Get somebody.
The microphone's not on the back.
I did not say the finish sucked. I didn't even mention the finish yet. I said she did not look like a champion at all that entire match. She got...
So you didn't get any of the story. You got nothing. You didn't get the shooter who
The
overwhelmed.
story they tried, yes, the story they tried to portray was Ronda's this unstoppable force. Okay, Ronda's this unstoppable force because she's pissed that she lost the title and she wanted to do whatever it took to get it back. She was kicking the champion's ass for 4 minutes and 32 seconds. She locks her in an armbar and leaves her own shoulders on the mat because she's so frustrated that she wants to pop her arm out.
No, because she went to cinch. She went to cinch the hold.
And she wanted to pop her arm out because of how pissed she was about losing. And for 3 seconds, Liv Morgan walked away with the title.
And Liv tapped. That's the
and
part
Liv
of the story.
tapped out. And Liv tapped out.
Liv tapped out. The referee saw Liv, didn't see Liv tapping. There's controversy.
This is your baby face champion.
Contested champ.
Who has now put Ronda in the position of heel. Okay, right?
Ronda went heel in the match. Remember when Ronda was like, "Oh, I'm gonna break it off. Oh, I'm about to break it off."
And that's great heel work, right? That's great heel work.
In Ronda's world, yes.
Okay, and what's crazy is the work sucked. She locked in the arm bar 3 different times. Watch it back.
Yeah.
In 4.5 minutes,
it was bad.
She locked it in 3 different times, and to the point, Liv, it's 2022. 98, you can get away with an arm bar, and people will be like, "Oh, it's not out yet, so it's okay." But we know now, as an educated fan, an arm bar can lead to a dislocated elbow immediately. From a former UFC champion, she locks it in 3 times.
Do you want to go back to the tapes? How I used to on episode like 1 or 2 when I had that whole half-hour tirade about I hate MMA BS in wrestling. Remember? Because I told you can't work shoot holds.
You can't, and that's what pissed me off.
Remember when I talked about the Kimura thing with Brock, and I said, "Why is Brock doing the Kimura? You dislocate people's shoulders with that move. You can't work a Kimura. It makes no sense."
Because you can't. It pops a shoulder. It pops an elbow. You cannot grab a hold 3 times. Now all of a sudden, Liv's got the bionic arm. Liv Morgan got one offensive move. It was a crucifix pin after botching it the first time.
Remember the Hogan giant neck snap? Remember that move? When he got Hogan on top of the pole and he grabbed him and he was just like,
you mean that killed him? He killed him? What are we doing? What are we doing here? What are we doing? Okay, I may not like Liv, but I'm watching the work.
But
the work sucks. Okay, it sucks.
Would you prefer the arm bar or the Hogan neck snap?
Give me the neck snap. Ronda just boop. And did I just wish death upon Liv Morgan? It's too hot down here. I'm sweating, bro. Listen, give me the neck snap.
What's the Hogan neck snap? Just on live television. You just want Ronda live TV and just live to do the same to Hogan. Just fall behind the ring and the camera just shows her just falling.
Oh my God!
That's the way you want my baby face champ to lose her belt, getting her neck snapped on television? What's wrong with you, monster? Your children are watching that show.
That's right. Only children watch. Only children watch.
Children
That's
and
right.
Parents. What the hell?
Oh my God. No, but in all seriousness, the work sucked. That finish made sense if the work was executed correctly, and it wasn't. They did not gel. There was nothing about that match. I just came from training today, and we watched 3 matches. The first match was very similar to that Ronda Rousey match.
Alicia
2
Fox,
people butting heads.
You watched the match that made I don't remember that whatever
Alicia
that girl
Fox
said.
versus Melina or something like that.
You made them watch Alicia Fox versus Melina on Raw, like a Raw random Sunday night heat match or whatever.
They went out there. The two guys that were working in our training, they went out there and they butted heads. They were trying to call on the fly. It didn't work. The crowd, the people that were there, because there was other workers. And even my kid was there, and my wife was there, and she was like, "Oh, that just wasn't good at all because they didn't seem to gel with each other. They don't gel, bro." Liv, I'm pointing at my screen over here if you don't know what I'm looking at.
Yeah,
Liv and Ronda don't gel, and the finish was cool, but the rest of the story sucked. It's like damn, this book sucks. But wow,
Yes.
the end of this book was awesome.
I mean, look, I'm more tongue in cheek here, trying to argue with you about why it was good.
But thank you.
Clearly,
Thank
I know
you.
the match was sloppy. Liv. I know they want to push Liv, and I get the character. I get the like this scrappy underdog, etc. But some of this stuff's got it, because man, the stuff with Natty was sloppy. The stuff with Ronda is sloppy. But
how many times, bro?
Yeah.
How many times are we gonna allow? If she has another sloppy match with the other, if she goes out there with Sonya Deville and she can't work with Sonya Deville, or she goes out there with, I'm trying to think who else is on the SmackDown roster right now. Let's say Charlotte comes back. Do you want to see Liv versus Charlotte right now at the September pay-per-view, whatever it'll be, Hell in a Cell or whatever? Liv versus Charlotte. Is that a match you want to watch?
I don't. So, I mean, look, I'm happy Liv as an opportunity to showcase yourself, etc. But I don't know if that was on my bingo card for 2022. Was Liv Morgan world champion run? So
it's cool. It's cool when you're the baby.
It was a moment. Yeah, it was a moment. It was a moment.
Hold on, let me make this point. It's cool when you're a baby face chasing. But now, when you're the champ and the spotlight is on you,
yep,
it's gonna make a world of difference. You're forgive. You can forgive Liv having a such and such match when she's chasing, because you want her to get there. Now she's there. Now she's there, and this is what we're getting. Now she's there, and it's like, I'm not a fan. I haven't.
That's what I mean. That's what I mean. But the Wardlow, like the chase, is all about the chase. You love the chase, but once you're there, it's like,
now. And
what now?
Speaking of champ, I just want to bring this up before we get to the main event. Speaking of champ, where's Pac been? We've gone 2 hours. Come on, brother.
Yo, I can't believe we got 2 hours right here.
We've gone 2 hours.
Oh, he's working dark against. I
nice.
think the parking lot attendant from Universal.
Fantastic.
It looks like
the parking lot attendant
looks like
New All Atlantic champion.
Prison tats, earring. Like I was like, who is an earring to a daggone Kron pick? But whatever.
All right, so let's go. Main event time, man. Main event time. Roman, Brock. I mean, go ahead, because I went on with Liv. Go ahead with Roman, Brock. Your thoughts? Because we're gonna agree. I know we are. Can I
tell you, this match, I didn't know what to expect. So I had only seen memes, and I had seen, the group chat, stuff like that. So I went to this match, if you will, some ideas something was gonna happen, but I didn't know how, what. Watching this match play out, they broke 3 tables the entire time. They rebroke the same tables. Like at one point, they just kept reusing pieces of it to keep throwing each other through it. Right? When Brock threw Roman, that one when he went backwards, and you thought his and you thought his arm snapped. When he went back and you seen him go over, you was like, oh, he hyperextended the elbow.
At first, I'm like, what are you talking about? And then it replayed in my head when he threw him around that wedge table.
That little wedge table. Where you seen Brock was like, where can I throw him on? Brock's looking around like, what'll break? Okay, that looks like it'll break. And just dumped him.
Did you see when he lifted him over the barricade and he got his foot caught? And I'm like, Roman, oh my God, poor Roman. Brock is so into it, he don't realize sometimes what he's doing, bro.
Or when Brock slipped off, when he tried to jump up and he slipped off down, and then he just like, okay, fine. One hops it, goes over and just throws Roman. I was like, yo, chill, Roman ain't grease up the end, bro. Relax. You
like relax.
Listen. But okay, wait. Moment of the match. Let's all say it right now. Moment of the match was.
You want to do it on
Brock.
3? You want to do it on 3?
Okay, sure.
Well, I think the timing's off a little bit, but we'll just do it. Okay, fine. 1, 2, 3. Brock in the tractor. What?
The microphone. The microphone's the craziest thing in the whole match.
That's the high spot.
The high spot of the match was Brock. Brock does his own entrance, and then he throws the microphone to Roman Reigns,
and the catch,
and it literally, so cool. I swear to y'all, we have to pull up the video. You have to see this. You have to find it. It's literally like a magnet. It doesn't make I've watched this video.
Can't comprehend it.
I can't comprehend how the microphone spins like CGI. It spins over perfectly and lands in Roman's hand like there was a magnet and a string, and someone yanked it at the perfect time. It doesn't make sense to my brain.
Is there
that, sir, was the absolute highest spot of the match.
I love you. You're capping though, but I love that.
I know. I'm trolling with my
yeah. No, that's awesome. I was like, wait, the tractor.
The tractor's insane. Yeah, but the microphone is a close number 2.
The microphone 1A, so
fine,
cool.
fine. Microphone's 1B. Fine. Tractor's 1A. This is 1B.
This is a TikTok, I guess.
Yeah,
let me pop the TikTok.
The TikTok will have it. It doesn't even make sense to me.
Can I full screen? Oh, so loud in my ear. Hold on. I'm trying to see if
we
I
don't got
can
to hear it.
this.
I just want to see it. Yeah.
I want to make it a bigger screen than this, but I don't know how to do this on the TikTok-y. I guess I can't. Okay. Boom. We'll do this. We'll get rid of us.
Perfect.
There we go. That'll work.
Explain. So this is what we're watching. Right. So Roman is standing up top. It says how effortlessly Roman Reigns. Brock is standing in the bucket of the tractor. He's standing up there. He's cutting his promo, introducing himself.
He's gonna kick his ass and whatever. Your new undisputed champion,
Brock
Lesnar. Oh wait, not yet. Hold on, he's getting there. Lesnar. He says it, tosses it. What do you mean?
That doesn't make sense. How?
What do you mean?
How? It's a glitch in the Matrix. Yo, he reaches out and just casually just catches it.
Just like, thanks, bud.
Look.
It
doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense.
Absolutely insane how he did that. I have no
It doesn't
clue.
make sense.
Because
Roman, it was like that football play. Remember when the dude that football where the what was it? The dude caught the ball and then just stood up like on a dead stop and just like stood himself right back up. And it was people were just like, yo, the physics of that make no sense. Was it when the homie stood up back? Was it when he went backwards and he just stood it like he like slid and then just stood right back up? And it was like, wait, what?
I'm thinking it was like a Odell catch you're talking about.
Is it? It was like something from last year.
Hand. No, not last year though. Odell was a few years back.
I'm gonna have to find it. I'm gonna see what I'm talking about. But it was something where some dude stood up and it was just like that moment where you just go, that's not even physically possible. How could you do that?
Yeah.
And that's what that was. Anyway, but beyond that, yes, the tractor. The match itself, they beat the dog piss out of each other way you wanted to see them.
As a Brock Lesnar match should be, though.
It was a Paul Heyman goodie. It was a car crash.
It's beautiful.
With gimmicks, but gimmicks done right. The one chair was used. Right. Like they didn't choose 1,000 of them.
They didn't go through
two tables.
They didn't have to go through weapons. They didn't have to use barbed wire. No ring had to explode.
Can I tell you though? When I saw the toolbox on the ring, I was like, "Oh God, no! Please don't pull out tools."
Well, you got to use the toolbox for the turnbuckles, brother. You got to get them off fast. That's all. Get the screwdriver.
I was happy about that.
Let's spinning the buckles off.
But man, when he put the track, because when he's doing the tractor, you're like, "Wait, what's happening? What's going on?"
Right, because you're like, what's he gonna do? Is he gonna scoop Roman? And he did it where he dropped him into the ring.
And it's like, okay, that's cool. What's he gonna really do with this thing?
I thought I'm sorry. I thought it would have winded up into something where he dropped the scoop on him and the scoop kept him down or something like that.
Yes,
but that would be Roman now operating it, and it's Brock's gimmick. So no. Go ahead. Well, what you're about to say?
No. Because I was like, with you, I was like, then you just saw the most crazy thing.
My man,
it truly went away that
you never saw that. You never see that. Because
honestly, and as obvious as it was, it's like,
right.
I can't believe that's what you did.
And what's funny is I didn't realize it until the ring was diagonally up in the air. I said, hey, there's no LED boards. Nope. There's no LED posts.
Yep.
It's just a ring with the apron. I said, oh, that was the tell.
They told us the whole time and none of us picked up on it.
Nobody until it was up in the air. I said, oh, there's no apron LED. I was like, oh, duh. Why didn't I think? Well, of course I didn't think of that because nobody would think you would do that to the ring. You would never see that at an indie show because dudes got one ring or they rented it. You would never see that at an indie show. So you just think these dudes got throwaway rings. That was probably a PC ring that was getting old or something. And they just said, let's break it. Let's just see what we can do with it. Such a cool idea. WWE always got the main events right. If there's one thing that they try to do is hit a home run on the main event. And that was a grand slam. That's how I look at it. Grand slam.
I truly don't know how you could have watched that show. Okay, wait. So I told you before I would tell you what the gripe was. Here was the gripe, and the thing that the word class action lawsuit was being bandied about.
Oh, yes.
Fans who sat in the front row when the ring was pulled up. Fans who sat in the front row on that side, right? Hard cam side, could no longer see the match because the match occurred in the opposite corner. They then had to turn their heads and look at the screen behind them, or look. I think there was a screen. Was it above? No, they couldn't. They couldn't have seen the. But would they have been able to see the screen above?
Their view wouldn't have been good. They just have to
turn. Yeah. So there were people complaining who were like, "I was there." Blah. Of course, everybody was there, but they wanted refunds or they wanted some sort of credit because they paid for front row tickets and they had obstructed view because of something Brock Lesnar did.
Can I tell you something?
Shoot.
I bet every single one of those people that complained all went, "Oh my God," when it happened. I bet they all reacted the same exact way. So now all of a sudden I can't see because of something that you have never seen before has happened, and you're going to complain. Fickle. Just like Daniel Bryan, you're fickle. You're all fickle. Jesus.
Yo, so
what? Like Vern, hold on. Vern, you just witnessed one of the craziest things to happen at a professional wrestling show. The first thing you want to do is say, "I'm suing." Turn to your right. You know the story you can tell people? Yo, the story, I still tell the story when I went to the Dodgers game with Joe, when we saw the dudes hit 4 home runs in a row and they hit a walk-off, and it was the craziest thing I've ever seen in a game.
Yep.
It's crazy. I still tell that story to this day. That happened in 2004. I still tell that story to this day.
Yeah.
If I was there at SummerSlam in Tennessee and I was in that obstructed view section.
Oh, you mean the front row?
The front row, where I had a blast the entire night. The entire night I had a blast.
On the hard cam?
I spent thousands of dollars, hard cam, VIP package, bro. Those are the ones that get the tag. You're going to tell me now, "Oh, I want my money back because for 5 minutes, I couldn't see anything." Unless I looked to the right and watched an entire 100-foot screen in front of me to show me everything that I can't see because something absolutely cool just happened. Fickle. Move on. Let's go with something else before I start turning to Daniel Bryan.
Yeah, no, I was going to tell you. So, do you want to? So I would say, So we're hitting the 2-hour mark.
We're here. We're gonna have to cut something.
Yeah. So I was like, so why don't we cut to the finish, and we go to
home?
Why don't we go home? Go here. Let's go to that Flair match.
Okay.
And
we're not going to talk long about Flair. I feel like
that's what I'm saying. Yeah. So why don't we go there, because this whole stuff, everything else about the dub, we need time to talk about that.
So
and
I'll
at
put
this late
that
hour,
on next show.
Yeah, let's put that on for next show, because that's all a great conversation we can have for next show.
Absolutely.
Because this show we went on some tangents that were beautiful, and
it was actually a good conversation. So I'm not even mad about it.
Yeah, me either. That's why I was just like, let's clip that.
Do you want to still talk about the quick hitters before we get to the main event?
The quick hitters, yeah, because these will be fine. I mean, if you want to, sure.
Yeah, we can do these quick. So it just was announced. WrestleMania 40 will be in Philadelphia. You going? We going to 40?
Why not, man? Right? You want to?
It's not this Mania. It's next Mania, right? The Mania after.
Yeah.
Not this Mania coming up. The next. I might. Hey, man, listen. If the job that I'm about to get pays me as well as I think it's about to happen, we're going to get those front row tickets to Philly, and hopefully they lift the ring again and we can sue. So, WrestleMania 40 in Philly, I'm definitely down to go.
Let's plan on it. Let's make something go. Okay.
Bring the boys. My kid will be about 8. If she's still a M word for wrestling, she can come too. Absolutely.
All right. Control your narrative. The follow-up.
So let's talk about it. So
real quick, I can tell you, I invested an hour of my life into this. And 20 minutes. All right.
I'm
sorry. Because I am a glutton for pain. I was texting with the Double O during this, and I was telling him about it, and he was like, "Oh, that's the worst." And I was like, "Have you ever watched it?" "No, I would never watch it." And I was like, "How do you know it's the worst?"
I just heard cheats.
How do you know it's the worst?
Seriously.
I would never watch that. I can't. That's ridiculous. I would never watch anything. I was just like, dude. I was like, again, you hate wrestling, but anyway.
That's like I don't like broccoli. Have you ever tasted it? No. It just looks ugly.
Someone told me it sucks, so I'm going with that.
Someone told me it tastes bad, so I'm just gonna roll with that.
I paid $12 to hear somebody else tell me how much they hate it.
Oh, God. What
So
did you think of
I get it.
Narrative?
So
hold on. Let's we'll do the follow-up off of what you were doing. So last show, I watched the live show, the first live show, and you had watched right. You had watched the YouTube taping ones they did during the pandemic. Yep. So I said, let's flip-flop.
Yep.
Right. Let's flip-flop and let you watch that product. And I watch the other. So yes, so you go ahead.
Okay,
go ahead
so all right, so it's
did I lose you? Uh-oh. I think I lost Vernon. Uh-oh. This is the first time this has happened, ladies and gentlemen. Vern, are you there? Oh man. What happened to my guy? Hey, we are 2 hours in. My man Vern has officially frozen on my screen. I wonder if he can hear me. He said, I'm here, still live. You, for some reason, are frozen on my screen. Very weird. So we're gonna stop for a second. So I think, hold on. Vern, I'm going to remove you. Okay, he removed himself. I'm back. I'm here by myself. Sheesh. This is odd. This is awkward. I feel weird to be alone by myself. Hopefully he can jump back in. But I will give my take until he comes back. We were talking about, hold on, he's messaging me at the same time. You went frozen. Come back in. All right, he'll be back in a sec, I'm sure. Device is not connected. All right, he's coming back in a second. I'll add him. So I was gonna talk, but if he's gonna come right back in, we shall see. Okay, I think he's good. Yo, you back?
What was that about?
You went completely. I can't wait till you see the YouTube version.
Okay, so on my version, it just was both screens. And I was like, yo, what happened? And you were talking to me. I'm like, yo, I was like, I'm here, you right here. Yeah, what happened?
That's weird. All right, so what were you about to say? You were talking about control your narrative.
Okay, yeah, just real quick, control your narrative. Different vibe than the YouTube show, whole different aesthetic, whole different feel. It's super high production quality. Like, I get it. Like, wow. But after watching an hour and a half, it starts off with the same tone you talked about that Scott Taylor match, and they were like throwing digs at him, weird digs, but like, find yourself. But even when EC3 opened up the show, the crowd didn't give a crap about what he said. No. The only noise was the boys pounding the mats.
Yeah.
But outside of that, honestly, no one gave a crap. Like on camera, you just see literally a guy's like this with his hands in his armpits, and he just doesn't care what's happening.
So that was a show on WrestleMania weekend. So those people probably bought that, piggybacking off the fact that
and there was a big crowd. I'm not going to.
There was a decent amount of people in there. There was a decent amount of people.
But it was not. It was not the YouTube show. The YouTube show made more sense to me in a controlled environment in front of people. The aesthetic, that dark, everything's blacked out. Everyone wears blue jeans and combat boots.
Yeah,
I hated it. I hated it. It was right because and that was the aesthetic, right? This dark, like NXT 1.5 skulls and grunge. But then when you got to the halfway, they got an 8-man tag. There was like every goofy normal indie gimmick was there. Which then I went, how did the show tone just change? You guys went from we're grungy, we're like this weird underground wrestling fight hybrid thing, and now
I didn't get that far at all.
Here's the regular indie wrestling match with guys in pink tights and stuff, which fine, but that part of the show is where I was like, okay, this feels completely disjointed now because it just reverted to every regular indie show you see.
Yeah,
it dropped the black bag over the head aesthetic, and and this is a secret society, and you unlock like that whole stuff where EC3 and the voice, and it was just like, okay, I get it, but who's the audience for this? Who is clamoring for this? Like whatever that is.
Okay,
that's my take on it. But an hour and 20 minutes into it, I got it within the first minute. The Karrion Kross Vinny match went forever through 2 segments. They started chain wrestling at the beginning, and the crowd went to the bathroom in their minds. No one said anything it was just like, I guess that was it. I didn't know what the flavor of the crowd was. It didn't make sense. The show, I didn't like the show.
So
I didn't even make it to the main event. I meant to.
Yeah, I didn't either.
I didn't make it.
I didn't either. So I told you when I watched that, I said, I get what they're trying to do because I had never seen the YouTube stuff. I get what they're trying to do. It's cool because it's different, but
not for me. And I don't know who it's for.
And I didn't watch. I told you I went like 45. I got to Vinny's match. I think I got to his entrance, and I was like, you know what? I'm cool. I've seen enough. I get the idea of what they're trying to do. But then I watched the YouTube ones. I watched EC3 versus Moose, the first one. And I was like, yo, this is cool. It was like a movie. And they filmed it like a movie.
Yeah. High production value.
So I wasn't like, let me start over. I didn't like when it was like all the buildup getting to the Moose match. Because I'm like 18 minutes. I was like, oh, okay. I'm going to get like a cool cinematic match. That's what I thought. I expected. But it was like storytelling.
But it's all done in that same aesthetic, which like
calling him the essential. Okay. He used to be an heir to the throne. I'm like, okay, you're reintroducing your character that everybody knows, but okay. And then he worked that same dude that worked Scott Taylor in that first match, the kid with the blonde buzz or whatever and the tattoos.
Is that the homie who used to be Mike? Is that the homie who used to be the football gimmick in Chikara?
You're talking about Shay worked him. You're talking about
Michael Ansetti or something like that.
Angelo.
Isn't that him?
Angelo.
Mr. Touchdown or something used to be his gimmick.
Mike Angelo's. He's not that. He looks little though. Nah.
Oh, that's not him.
I don't think so. Yeah, no. Okay. It only says Chikara.
Okay, so he quit the business. All right.
A very good wrestler. It says revealed that Angelo said he retired from wrestling. So, Dasher Hatfield said that he retired. Avery Good. But so I watched the YouTube one, and I'm like, this is cool. Once we got into the match portion, because the way they filmed it, how they were up close, so the thing that I liked with Moose, when Moose came in, they opened a garage door. Moose is looking like a badass. Moose comes walking through the door. He's got the headband. Then there's music playing. And you see them jaw-jacking, but you don't know what they're saying. And even they did something where when Moose was speaking, they kind of gave a distorted sound to it. And then EC3 said something, and it was a distorted sound at a different pitch. So you can understand, oh, okay, they're jaw-jacking. Then Moose threw a strike, and they gave the strike a sound effect. And I'm like, okay, this is different. I like this. And then I got to the Cardona one, and they had some like coffee or something. I wasn't watching that whole thing because it just felt like a booked podcast, and I was just like, this feels weird. So then I'm starting to watch the match. He's getting his boots zipped up. He does the gimmick with his dog in the treat, and then he gets in the Ghostbusters car, and then he drives to the venue, and then they start working a match. And I was like, no, now this is hokey. This feels hokey because it felt organic when I watched him and Moose. It felt like, okay, this is sort of like a cult, and these people love EC3. That's what it felt like. And then when
vibe, Cardona,
it was a movie. Cardona's match, I was like, ew. I was like, no.
What was up with the flex? What was up with the flex?
I don't know.
It was wild and necessary. It made.
And then I hear him, and then the thing that I didn't like is that they didn't carry over what they did with Moose. How they kind of pulled in, took away, like laid out the sound effects and added other things. It was just a match. So all you heard was,
okay. So that's the part that, like I told you, it turned into like weird ASMR because at one point it's just grunting.
Yeah.
It's just, it is dudes, like you hear the slapping of flesh and grunting.
Yeah.
And it's not, it's just like, what is this? This is a weird, this isn't a wrestling match. I was just,
yeah,
like you said, it's just dudes grunting at this point.
I was not a fan because I'm just like, why
did you get a chance to skip through Titans?
I didn't even get to it Because once I got to Cardona, I was all set.
Yeah.
Because I was
I
like,
told you the
damn.
Cardona was the one that I wasn't a fan
I didn't want
of.
to show this yet. I didn't want to show this yet. Sorry.
Yeah.
We're going to get. You weren't a fan of the Cardona one either, you said.
Yeah, no, because I told you the Cardona one changed tone. The Cardona one changed tone. Yeah. And it became something different. And the Adam Shear one was better because the Adam Shear when they pared it down, it wasn't as
over the top like Cardona did.
Well, I guess Cardona, but how was it rebooting the Always Ready character? Because like this is what leads to Always Ready Matt Cardona, but I guess I didn't get it. I didn't understand how.
So that is where his character changed to what he does at NWA now.
I think so. Isn't it? Didn't
I'm calling hogwash if that's what they're saying.
Oh, okay. No,
I'm malarkey.
Okay, I'm pretty positive though that the work he did there was like from there.
That's what helped change his gimmick.
Well, that's like what he used as like his metamorphosis moment that kind of led him to like the changing to letting go of woo and embracing the Always Ready, like he's somebody totally different. I'm pretty sure that was like the story going around during the pandemic.
Before, yeah, I mean,
it was pandemic
before the GCW shows, right? When he was the champion. Okay, I mean, I guess okay, but still, like you said, it's not my cup of tea. It's not my cup of hot chocolate. I would not want that flavor. It's not Swiss Miss. I don't want the Swiss
wrestling.
Miss.
It's wrestling. It's just not
in its core. In its core, it's wrestling.
Yeah,
but so is Zona
I just
23.
don't know what it is. Yeah, and I just don't know what it is.
Right.
Like I told you, when I watched the Bill Carr, like that Vengeance or not Vengeance, the Reckoning, the Righteous. Excuse me.
Yeah,
the Righteous.
Bill
that
Carr.
tag match against
what's the other guy? I like the other guy, Bateman.
Yeah, Bateman and Bill Carr versus Project X and
stop trying to remember the names.
Two-Bar or something.
We don't have enough time to remember all the names.
But whatever. But like that match was just two jacked up, roided up looking dudes, two wellness policy violations versus two wrestlers. That's what it looked like. And it was like you could see those two dudes were green. And it was just but they were wearing blue jeans and combat boots. And it's just like, how is that? Why is that a look? Why is it an aesthetic to this place? Like, get away from that.
Yeah.
You know, and
remember I told you I think they tried to do it like the Young Boys in Japan.
Yeah,
where like black trunks, black knee pads, black boots, but
black blue jeans
and
black jeans, black blue jeans. Black, what is wrong with me? Black, I sound like an old person. Black blue jeans,
black
man.
Blue jeans, yes, whippersnapper. No, it's just it's. I think you said it in a text. I can't remember exactly what you said, but you said it's like a niche. Who is this niche for?
Yeah, it's a niche. It's a niche product. It's a niche product, like everything else.
Who? But for who though?
Like Stardom, like all those other things that I'm always like, okay, I know it exists. I know people say it's really good, but I can tell you with sight unseen, I won't like it. Just from what I hear about it, I know it's not for me. It's not my kind of thing. It's nothing I would purposely watch on my own.
I don't think I'm going to watch another lick of Control Your Narrative unless they give me a reason to. Right now, I gave them a chance. This is why I didn't say anything about them before in the past. We gave them a chance. We watched enough of it to understand what they're trying to do, but I just don't know who they want to do it for because it just doesn't seem like we're the audience. Maybe because we're too accustomed to what we know professional wrestling is, and they're trying to go so broad. I feel like if this is my take on it, my last take. If I were to,
I was gonna say, you know what? I think this is the finish right here. Flair's gonna have to go next time because
we got to talk about.
We're at 2:30.
We're gonna talk about Flair.
All right, because we're about to push this. Where I was like,
we're not gonna talk about Flair.
Yeah, I don't want to do a 3.
We're not talking about Flair for half an hour. We're gonna talk about Flair and we're going home. That's it.
All right, because we can't do 3 hours.
Not like before. Okay, but listen, my last take is this: if I was to film a movie, I got something in my eye. If I was to film a movie, the way EC3 and Moose filmed their match cinematically is how I would film a wrestling match in a movie. I feel like I was filming a movie for wrestling. Like I did No Holds Barred 2022 and I wanted it to be serious. I would film it in the style that they did there.
Yeah.
But that's it. To try and take that and do live shows, I don't think it works. I don't think it works at all.
I just still don't understand how it, because when he came out at the beginning and did his monologue, EC3 did that whole monologue,
Yeah.
The people didn't care. My thing was just no one cared. He could have gone in there and pulled his pants down, and people just been like, "Oh, that's probably more interesting than whatever you're saying."
Whatever he's talking about, right?
Like when he made the comment about like, you're not here for the show in the stadium, and it was like,
yes,
yeah,
we are. Yes,
yeah,
we are.
What do you talk? What lie have you told yourself, sir?
Like, yeah, that's exactly why they're here, and that's exactly why you did the show here. So stop capping. So I'm gonna cut what we were about to put up because we could probably bury that forever. We'll bring it up on the next show. So let's talk about it, man. Dude, Flair's last match. You have not seen a single lick of it.
I've not seen a lick of it. I've only heard people talk about it, so I can't offer up any criticism that I'm not just going to parrot someone else's. But the clips I've seen support lots of the criticisms I've heard, because the clips I've seen have been terrifying from what I've seen.
So I'm just trying to get to all right. I wanted Flair in. I wanted Flair in so you can see that. Okay.
All so did you feel that, was it as Tommy talked about, where you felt nonstop love?
Vern, I felt something nonstop. It wasn't love. It wasn't love.
Fear
it wasn't
concern?
love. It was, I wanted to, so we can get the whole screen here. It was concern. I thought I watched a 70-year-old man die in the wrestling ring. Flair is moving here. Flair is moving great here. Beginning of this match is so good because you're watching it and you're like, okay, Flair still got it. But I think because it was Flair's last match, he felt like he needed to play every single record, every hit he had.
Oh, he played all the hits?
Which means he bladed and got the crimson hair that you all know Flair for. Okay?
So he's standing in a purple shirt. Oof.
He's in a purple shirt. I mean, granted, Flair's 76 or something like that, 73. I can't remember. But he's in his mid-70s.
And he can still do a hip toss takeover.
He still did a good headlock takeover. And Flair's been training with Lethal. We mentioned this a while back. And we were like, do you want to see a Flair match? And you were like, no. But here we are in July, and we got a Flair match going on.
Foley.
Taker's there. Foley's there. There's
there. DDP. Where's Bully?
There.
Where's
DDP
Bully in his
spot? Bully was in the Battle Royal.
No, but Bully, remember Bully on Busted Open today said he snuck in. He sat right behind Conrad. Bully is supposed to be sitting right behind Conrad. That's
Did he?
That's what he said on the radio.
Conrad is on the hard cam side. So these people are where the hard cameras are. Whoever's recording this. So Conrad's on this side. Oh, no. Conrad's right here, actually. Isn't that Conrad right here? Okay, Conrad's right there. I'm sorry. He was on this side.
Butt off for him. Wow.
Listen, Jay Lethal.
Put on his working
you're about to hear something that you probably thought you'd never hear from me. Jay Lethal performed well. That's not the thing. Jeff Jarrett was
everyone said it was MVP.
Amazing.
Yeah. Okay.
Getting the heat, working with these dudes
heel heat.
Working with these dudes who are 20 years younger than him, at least, and not looking out of place. I said, whoa. I said, okay, you know I'm not a fan of Jeff Jarrett. I've never been a fan of Jeff Jarrett. From Ain't I Great? I only like Slap Nuts. Don't piss me off. It's only Jarrett I liked. But every other iteration of him,
we're watching him in here. He is walking around. Yeah.
Flair's command in the middle of the ring. I mean,
Flair's middle and Jarrett's circling around him, giving Flair the center of the ring. Okay, so they didn't make Rick work too hard.
Rick didn't work too hard, but then Rick. I'm just gonna skip it.
Look. But
you
look
at the people.
The people are
the people are on their feet. This
is
what they were here for. 9,000 fans sold. They sold this arena out. 9,000 people. Okay, they came to see this man work. And here, this entire beginning of the match, Vern, is what I expected. I said, okay, we're gonna work here. We're moving around. Flair's doing a push off the ropes. Big hold off. No, sir. Right? Do your thing, Double J, right?
Look at that Fargo strut.
The Fargo strut, right?
Ooh, look at him heel, getting up there.
So it's all good. It's so much Gaga for the first 10 minutes.
Which should have been. It should have just been Gaga, nonstop Gaga.
Yes, nonstop Gaga.
For the 70-year-old man, I don't want to see him do much more than Gaga.
Let Flair hit the safe hits. But then it got out of hand, Vern. It got so out of hand.
Get out of hand for me.
I've got to get it out. I've got to get you there, brother. I forgot what forces him to blade, but Flair blades.
Forces him? It was a Monday. It was a Saturday.
No. I mean, like, what made him do the blade job is what I'm saying.
Oh, what was the spot that led to the blade job?
I don't remember, but from there on, Vern, it was downhill, he's still not bleeding, bro. It was downhill.
All right. Oh, I think it's here. Because everyone said he goes down awkwardly long to slice himself.
I don't know. He hits the figure 4 here, and it looks good here. It looks great here. I'm telling you, everything looks good for Flair up until this point, right? I think they get to here
right there. Yo, it is. This is where he blades right here. This is where he blades.
Maybe it was something that Jarrett had.
He hits him.
I don't know.
Jarrett just hits him.
Jarrett just punched him.
Yeah, just in the shoulder.
And Flair's out of there. Jay's taking care of Flair, of course. Maybe Flair.
And that's where I feel like that's where Flair either gigged or maybe he hit his head.
Okay, so they stopped and they brought it back, and he's bleeding now. Okay, Flair is bleeding right now. He bladed and he's leaking. Look at him, bro. And the blood's so thin. He just hit her with the heel. That's what I remember seeing. He hit him with the heel, and I was like, okay. And then he's with the Flair's daughter, Vicky Guerrero's there. I didn't even realize that.
Ooh, I was like, dang, he just
shoved her.
I was like, yo, get out of here. He just shoved her for real.
So a whole slew of people here. It's crazy.
Flair's holding his heart. What the heck's going on?
Flair fakes the heart attack for the thumb in the eye.
Oh, okay? Mercy. I was like, whoa, what a spot.
Right. I mean, look at the fans. Jesus. The fans look concerned for a second.
I was like, whoa, Lord.
Look at the fans.
Yo, you got me to go high pitch right there. Look, Michelle McCool is definitely like, wait, what's going on? This is real. She's definitely like, I got worked.
Look at Foley. They're all talking to him. Right? Vern. Let me get there. Okay. Right here. It's downhill from here. I swear to you, Vern. They try to put him up to the top rope for a superplex. A superplex.
No, why?
And look, Flair can barely get up there. So they pull him back down. Okay.
Oh boy.
Okay, Flair's talking. I think Flair called this suplex. Give me the suplex here. Okay. Flair takes the suplex, Vern. This is it. This is the match right there. From right here, forget it. Okay? From right here, forget it.
I don't want to laugh, but he looked like he just died.
I'm telling. Okay, watch this. 1, 2.
What did him kick out? He died.
He did not kick out. I think Flair got knocked out from that suplex. I think with the blood, his age, taking a high impact move where your head is rushing and then you fall to the ground.
Okay, so my jaw is wide open right now because legitimately he just looked like he died.
Vern, a Flair cell. Oh my God. Oh God. Yeah, Flair's so loud when he sells. Flair is dead in the ring. Figuratively and probably literally. Look, he's selling now. Now he's up.
Oh, because I'm sure. Oh, man.
Okay, wow. So this is the sell, right? He's selling now. Was he selling 15 seconds ago? And watch this, sir.
He's dead.
Watch this.
Oh, no, he's out again.
Look at the legs. Look at his legs. Vern.
Why are you making me laugh? You're making it comical. This is supposed to be funny. Vern, you're making it comical.
Vern, my wife, see, the thing that sucks about this view, Vern, is that you can't see these guys over here's point of view. The guys on camera. Because they're zoomed in on Flair. They turn here, and this guy gets a shot of Flair. Flair is as purple as his gear. And my wife said, he's purple. And I went from you to smiling like, oh, wow, to, oh, my God, he is mad purple. And Flair, at one point, I'm like, no, I said, this doesn't look good. Because Flair's mouth is just open like, and I'm like, what's good with him? Is he all right? And he's talking the whole time. So, yeah, okay, he's all right.
So why isn't Andrade, like, I don't get the Andrade being on the, like, this is part of this new age of wrestling thing where
I got to be down and out.
I don't get, but look, what's he just did? Why isn't he up on the,
That's that WWE. If you ever go to a live WWE show and a tag match during a hot tag, that's what the babyface who's been getting beat up does. Flair moved out the way.
Okay, thank
now
God.
He's up. You see, now he's back up. Okay, Vern, just watch Flair during this hot tag.
Wait, what's he doing?
Watch Flair. It's about to be a hot tag. Crowd's up. It's about to be
Flair,
a hot tag.
Turn around.
Watch this tag and then watch Flair.
Oh, God.
Okay, look at Flair.
Oh, man.
How can you focus on the hot tag?
Oh, man.
With Flair lying supine on the mat.
Oh, my God. Yo, he almost suplexed him into Flair's legs.
And not moving. I was so concerned for Flair because of his lack of movement.
He's moving now.
But do you see the top of his head? It's red. Wow. He is purple, Vern. I promise you. Wow. I thought my wife was like, I thought he was going to have a heart attack. I thought he was going to have a heart attack in the ring. And what angers me is that nobody in the wrestling blah 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 journalist world has mentioned that at all. They just want to sing Flair's praises for being a tough guy, for being out there at 70 years old, doing this match and giving him his all and give his flower. Flair is one of the greatest of all time. Do not let me say anything else. Flair is one of the GOATs. On the Mount Rushmore, for sure.
What is he doing?
Okay?
What is he doing?
What is this? Vern. It doesn't get any better.
God, that's a tag?
That's the tag. It doesn't get any better, Vern. It gets worse. And the fact that people that are in the journalist world go, oh yeah, he gets the tag.
Oh, this is uncomfortable.
He gets the tag, and this is the pin. This is the pin after he gets the tag. He's going for the pin right now.
Oh, man.
So Jay Lethal's been on the ground selling, okay? Psychology is out the window by this point, okay? It's just you came to see Flair.
This is Flair saying, thank you, please don't move because I think I'm going to die.
Bro.
He's not pinned him for the last. No, there's more Gaga?
Vern, I'm telling you, it was too much. Look at his legs.
Yo, stop doing that, Flair. Flair keeps doing the I'm dead pose. The wash the body on the shore pose.
This is okay. So I've watched a lot of sports. I've watched a lot of wrestling. I've watched MMA. When someone is knocked out, their lower legs always twist when you roll them back over because they don't control their legs anymore. There's no control there. The legs are crossed. My man's legs are crossed here. I saw that. I said his legs are crossed. He winds up fixing them, I hope, at some point. But do you see Lethal? Look at Lethal.
He's checking his post.
Checking him. Okay.
He was like, okay, he's got enough.
He said, are you good? You good? Like, yo, move, my guy. Because this is the spot we need to do next. And oh my God.
Come on. All he would have had to done is drag him up and drop him. I know it's the spot. It's not hard what they're gonna do here.
But Vern, okay, you say that, right? Hold on. I don't want to.
This is gonna be.
I don't want to go too fast. Okay, here we go. Here comes Andrade.
How slow
Andrade's going to do it. Oh, my God. Did you see how Flair fell there?
Yes, just fell on his side like an old man.
So this camera is not going to get what we saw on live television, Vern.
Uh-huh.
Flair's over here. Look at Flair.
Oh, okay, he tossed him the brass knucks. Conrad tossed the brass knucks.
Yep,
I saw that.
Conrad's here. You saw Conrad get up and throw him the knucks on the right side here. Sorry. Right? Over here. Here we go. I'm trying to get my mouse over there. Look at Flair.
Mm-hmm.
Flair's barely going. He's still purple at this point, by the way. Look at Andrade like, hey, put the knucks on. Put the knucks on, Papa. Look at him.
And Flair is like, I need to breathe. Oh, my God. This is uncomfortable.
Can you see his hand shaking?
Yo, okay, now this is the part where all right, call the match.
Okay, call the match. Do you see this camera?
Stop it.
This was our view on live television right here.
Oh my God, that's
so you saw Flair's hand shaking, and I'm like, yo, that's not good. I immediately was concerned from the suplex. Maybe that was the sympathy he wanted as a babyface. I don't freaking know. Because the psychology's gone.
You just got worked, you mark.
I got worked, I guess. But bro, I don't care what anybody says. This was concerning. I was happy when Flair finished the match. I said, thank God he's still alive. Okay? He dirtiest player in the game. Bam, right? Big right hand, Vern. Have you seen the finish? Do you know the finish?
No. But I see Andrade.
Okay, before I continue, we had a bet, right? I said Lethal was going to pin Flair. You said Flair is going to pin Jarrett. Okay?
Yo, okay. I'll go.
Let's continue on. Match is almost over. I'm going to move ahead. Here we go. Where's the ref? I have no idea.
Oh, God.
Oh, the ref got bumped. Kyoto got bumped. That's right. And then this is some guy, Super Dave. Do you know Super Dave? No. Tony Schiavone popped for Super Dave.
Oh, he's a fan. I think he's like he was a fan turned Flair lost too.
Okay.
It's a double.
Okay. You saw it too then. So Flair locks in the figure 4 and lays on his back immediately.
And dies.
Yep. And here comes the confetti.
Okay, so they give the victory to Jeff.
The victory is to Rick Flair, to Ric Flair.
So Rick pinned Jeff.
Correct. So you were correct. Rick pinned Jeff Jarrett for the finish.
Okay, makes sense.
Of this match, which you said makes sense. I would have liked to seen old school, go out on your back, but that's not what it was about.
But as I said, as I told you, it's his Flair. Clearly, this was never about anyone else.
It was never about anybody else but Flair, bro. But
how have the paramedics not hit the ring yet?
Thank you, Vern. Oh my God. How
are they not Lawrence Taylor have oxygen for him immediately?
As a person who's been watching wrestling since about 1994 and watched Flair forever, you watch one Flair match, you watch them all, right? That's pretty much the saying. You watch one Flair match, you watch them all, right?
Yeah.
Bro, that was so hard for me to watch because I'm like, I think this guy is not going to survive.
Yeah.
And we're 2 hours and 45 minutes in. I know we went super long, but we had to discuss that. That could not wait another 2 weeks. There's no way that could have waited.
I'll be honest with you, that was uncomfortable. Seeing that last spot where like he's touching him and you're seeing he like puts the knucks on his hands. He might as well have just had his hand and punched for him. Like it was like that was but good catch though on that suplex. You're right. Whatever that suplex did to him, it jarred him and he won the same after that.
I think he was out for a bit. And and the suplex, the blood, him going purple. He's 70 some odd years old. He doesn't need to do all that. It was all unnecessary, but I'm sure it's what Flair wanted. If it's what Flair wanted, okay. But there's sometimes
ultimately that's the point. The point is it's what he wanted. It's how he wanted.
He wanted his cake and eat it too. I get it, but damn. I thought I was going to watch a man die live on pay-per-view, Vern. I swear to you.
Would have sold more tickets.
Oh my God. It would have been the talk of the world, bro. Ric Flair has died in the ring. And you know what? I was gonna say that's probably if he died in the ring that night, he would have been okay with it. But Jesus Christ, come on, don't. Oh my Lord. Everything up into the suplex was cool. Everything up to him blading was cool. Because he got punched in the head, rolled to the outside.
No, he didn't roll. He went to the apron and flopped on the floor.
To the outside.
Went, damn it.
That probably hurt too. Because they had just like regular gym mats down there. So that probably hurt too, bro. It was tough to watch. You need to watch the live feed so you can experience.
I don't think I could watch that. That was uncomfortable as all get up. What we just watched, seeing it from that angle, seeing his legs, seeing him do this,
and just lay there,
not sell, but just
as soon as he counted, I said, "Oh, it's a double pin. It's a double pin. It's a double pin." But it doesn't matter. Its psychology was out of the window as soon as he bladed. There was so much psychology up until he bladed. And call it a day. Forget it. It's all whatever Flair wants from there. So, we had to end on that, man. I just give me one final thought on that. Give me one final thought.
I truly hope this is it.
If it's not it, I swear to God, Vern, I am gonna go to wherever Flair is. Actually, I'm not gonna say that. This is gonna be recorded, and people are gonna come for me. They're gonna come for me.
Yeah, but
no, but go ahead. Nope. Go ahead. I'm gonna give that afterwards. Go ahead.
I was like, that's it. I just hope this is it. That's my last thought on it. I don't want to see it again.
at the end of the match,
Uh-huh.
Flair comes out. He gets congratulated by Foley, Brett, and Taker. Foley and Brett are smiling. Taker, right? Leans in to Ric Flair's ear. I bet it went a little something like this. Rick, don't you ever do this shit again.
Sure.
You have no need to do this in the ring at all anymore. Because they had a conversation. It wasn't like, congrats, Rick, good match, great match. No. I think he taps Andrade like, good job. I like that. But he's in Flair's ear, and I know it's like, don't you ever do that shit again.
Yeah.
Because you saw how locked in Taker was during the match.
Bruh, he died. Like, he died.
He died, bro.
That
for at least 10 seconds.
Yes,
Flair was not alive, I believe.
Thank God he had a pacemaker.
Jesus.
Thank God it was able to shock him back to life.
Oh my Christ. Like, dude. And then he cuts the promo and he says, I hope you guys enjoyed the match. I can't remember half of it. And I'm like, it's because he died. It's because he died for that little bit of time. I'm like, there's no way. Stop laughing. You're making me laugh. There's no way.
You're just like, because he died. He died. That's it. He died. He died and came back from the dead.
I'm like, oh my God.
That son of a bitch even no-sold the 10 count. He no-sold the 10 count to the likeness.
Is real, bro. The sickness is real. Shay put it best. He was watching the wrestler in real life.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my God. That was the wrestler in real life, bro.
Yeah.
That was Mickey Rourke, Ram Jam in real life, bro. It was crazy. So yeah, I got to shoot a question on you. Just one more question I got to shoot.
Yeah, man, because I'm tired. Yes. What's up?
So you're going to be here for my daughter's birthday, right?
Yes, sir.
Coming up to the birthday party.
Yep.
I'm putting you on the spot so you can't say no.
Okay.
Putting you on the spot. I've got a match booked, right? It's Stephen Lust versus Mike Montero.
Okay.
Stephen Lust versus Mike Montero.
I know.
My question to you, sir. You've seen the build-up. They're going to wrestle in a cage the day before. Whoever Lust might be the champion by then. Mike Montero might be the champion by then.
Fair enough.
So my birthday party show for my daughter, there's going to be a return match of Lust versus Montero for the NRG Heavyweight Championship. My question to you, sir. I need a manager for Stephen Lust. Not any manager. A manager to the stars, sir. Good sir.
You put me on the spot. Typically, Somoza. I would say contact my secretary. I'll let you know. But if you put me on the spot like this, book it. I'm in. Stephen Lust. Hey man, what's his tagline? Give me the Stephen Lust tagline. I'm not even gonna pretend.
He says, "Oh freaking yeah," but you gotta see it to make it work. You have to see it. You have to.
All right, yo. Look, I'm not even gonna sit here and pretend. Shout out to the King of Sleaze, whatever his name. Shout out to Stephen Sleaze.
Stephen Lust. God, you're back in gimmick. You're back in gimmick.
Let's go.
Lust. Hey, this is why I wanted to do it. He's got lips on his gear that say just Lust. Okay. And I said, oh, you've got the lips gimmick too. You guys are going to look great together. I've got a whole idea and all that stuff. We'll talk about it later.
Okay, we'll talk off camera about this. Okay,
I feel like you would be perfect
hey, man,
for Lust.
You know me. You know me. I will always lend myself when I can. Have some fun.
Yes, sir.
Let's do a show.
Yeah, and speaking of show, let's end this one. 2 hours, 52 minutes.
All right,
sorry,
let's go.
Pencil.
We're done.
All right, we're out of here. So that is it. We are the Pay Window Podcast on the Sandbox Podcast Network. For Vernon Somoza.
Frank Champion.
Oh, we're messing up with the tip touching. There we are. Touch it up.
There it is.
Touch it up. I am me. He is him. We are them. Say peace, Vern.
Peace, Vern.
All right. We are